Hey, everybody. How's everybody been? Welcome on back. I'm getting it ready. I'm scrubbing up, brushing my teeth, getting me some damn coffee, because everybody needs some coffee. Eat you a good breakfast, because this thing's about to hit. Hi, everybody.
Coffee.
I just got a fresh cup. I just made a fresh pot. It finished like 3 till. It's like that fresh.
I had my coffee earlier.
I just
Oh, I have
watered my
coffee all
cup.
day. You
I
threw
can
some water in your
understand
cup?
coffee.
Yeah.
No, I do not do
Coffee's
that.
fantastic. It's my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, I want to catch the coffee all the time. It's true. It is true. Purple, how have you been?
Uh, Getting by. Feeling run down lately.
Yeah.
Like I
How's
say, I have a shortage of spoons that there's too much going on. I can't keep up with it all.
understandable. I had that problem yesterday. I just couldn't make myself. I just didn't want to extrovert at all. So I didn't go on the deep state last night, but
Yeah, same
how's
here.
um how's Sloth Girl doing?
He's doing okay. Just also feels run down a lot. It's not leaving her with much energy, but
Yeah.
Why must it always be peopling outside when you go out?
I know. Why is it so peoply out?
I
Say
hate that COVID took away the 24-hour grocery stores. Because when I
Mm,
could do my grocery shopping at 2 o'clock in the morning, the only other people there were the ones stocking the
stocking the
shelves,
shelves.
and
Hell
they didn't want
yeah.
to talk to you anyway.
No, they don't.
It gets
They will
worse
help
too.
you on a dime just to put the box down for a second, but they really don't want to talk to anybody. They just want to get done, get the fuck out of there.
For sure.
yeah.
A lot of places still haven't changed their signs. When I was over the road a couple of months ago, I wound up having to use a porta potty in downtown Cleveland because my only bet for a bathroom was a 24-hour grocery store that still had signs at the entrance and in the parking lot and all over the
And it
place.
was closed.
24-hour grocery. Close at 9 p.m. Like I should have just pooped in their parking lot.
It said 24 hours, so this will last for 24 hours too. Here, enjoy. I don't blame you for that. Yeah, when you're a truck driver and you're in certain areas, it's hard to find anywhere to stop. And when you're in major cities, the truck stops aren't meant to park in; they're just drive-throughs. There's no parking for them, so you can poop and grab food, and then you got to go.
When you're
So
lucky.
Well, Walmart lets you park in their lot, don't they?
they
If you
used
can
to.
get in.
Well, they keep going back and forth with it. First of all, that first it was nobody can, and then they realized they were losing business, so they were like, sure. So they actually, in some of the Walmart parking lots, they put in stripes for truck drivers. Very few of them, but it did happen. But you could park in a certain area as long as you were like out of the way, you weren't blocking traffic, blah blah blah. They didn't care. They wouldn't bother you. And then they were like, "Oh, this is getting excessive. We don't want the truck drivers to park here anymore." So now it's location by location. So it's a crapshoot
Hmm.
whether you're gonna get a place that's okay to park.
That's crappy. But then again,
Yeah,
that's
it is
Walmart for
crappy.
you.
Yeah, it's really crappy when you gotta take a shit.
Don't they let
Mm-hmm.
also people with campers and that sort of crap?
Oh yeah,
I yeah,
all
as
the
long as
time.
they don't stay for more than like overnight, they let them stay. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much the rule. Now you have some rural WalMarts that will let people park for the weekend because they know they come in town, they're just there for 2 days, and then they're gonna leave.
And
The
not
Walmart
crap
I
on the
used to
parking
live
lot.
by. Yeah, yeah, no, the parking lot was clean. The truck drivers never trashed it because they wanted to be able to park there, and there was no place else to park. We lived in like a little, I don't know, 6,000 people town maybe, and that's the whole county, but the
You're
town itself
roboting a
was
little bit.
I am.
Yeah.
I have been faced with that a couple of times, driving between states, that the gas stations had the lights on because they had, the pay at the pump thing, but everything else was locked up. So yeah, I've had the situation a couple of times that I just had to go out and relieve myself behind the building.
My problem would be that my
Um,
debit card does not want to work in most gas pumps.
So then you have to go all the way inside. No, that's almost everybody's cards. It's the gas pumps are fucked up
I never
because
use
they
those.
if you well besides a lot of the companies, I don't know where you live if it's like this or not, Jenny, you would know. But a lot of the gas station companies now are like if you pay at the pump and you slide your card, they automatically hold $100
Oh, they've been like that forever.
Mm.
so long until and then they give it back to you in like 3 days because they're afraid people are gonna take off and not pay shit or whatever.
I never do the card at the pump thing because I was worried about. I've seen way too many times where those things end up getting skimmers on them.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Always going
skimmered a
back.
couple months ago.
I do not, Mark. You don't know me.
I just read what he said. No, I don't work in an office. I work in central supply for a hospital. It was the original hospital that was built here it was originally a shack of a barn that they turned into a hospital, and then eventually they actually built one.
Yeah,
In the 70s. Took them to the
Yeah.
70s to build a fucking real hospital here. So I stock and make sure the OR has everything they need.
Yeah, any card slider or anything that if it's outside or something, I'll always just kind of wiggle it a little bit, see if it's loose.
Yeah, they will pop loose. It's true. Yeah, because there's no way for them to screw them on, and they want them to be easily removable, so it's not obvious that they're removing them. Money on your card. That's a fallacy. Whatever happened to credit?
I have
So,
refused. I have refused credit cards for over 30 years. I don't want them in my life.
Neither do
I
I.
had done that myself, and then I ran into problems that, because my credit report kept coming back blank, nobody would believe me, and I was having trouble renting an apartment because nobody would believe I hadn't used a credit card in 25 years.
Yeah, I run into that as well.
They're like, no, you're hiding something. What's your real name?
Yep.
Give us your real social security number. No, I swear to God, it's true.
That's interesting, Gary. Is that like the oil company app or what?
When I told people I look like I don't use credit cards,
Liar.
people look at me like I just grew a second head.
Mark said, thanks for the good tip.
Yeah.
Try to wiggle it. That's a good idea. Yeah, one got me a couple
Kyle.
months ago, and I had to get another new card. God damn it.
If you're traveling through the Midwest, though, I highly recommend the Quick Trip stations, spelled with a K.
Yeah.
Because generally, now all of those, at least along the major highways, those will be open 24 hours. So you can even go in and you can get a hot sandwich and everything.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of quick trip 24s that have closed around here, and we're the mothership of Quick Trip. That is where their company exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only place around here that stayed 24 hours open was the 7-Eleven.
Kyle, I'm going to teach you what commas and periods are. It's funny because back in the day, 7-Eleven used to be open. Purple and Jenny know this, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And that's why they were, that's what their name was based off of. And eventually they did make it 24 hours. But, when my mom was a smoker for like years and years and years, and she decided she was going to quit. But not until after she woke my dad up at 5:30 in the morning and said, you need to go to 7-Eleven and get me cigarettes. And he was like, but they're not open yet. She said, go now. And she was just having a really bad morning. So he went down there and he fell asleep in the car, waited for them to open. He sat there in the car for an hour and a half because she was being shitty, which was weird for my mom. But he comes back with a carton and she throws them on the top of the fridge. She never opened them. She quit right then and there. She was having troubles with it, so she went down and got hypnotized to be allergic to them. And it was funny because when I was a teenager, after she found out I was smoking and all that whole tirade was done, I was waiting on the bus and she was about to leave for work. And She walked over to say something to me, and the smoke went by her face, and she sneezed. Like-
Kyle,
She
Kyle-
quit when I was 2.
Kyle, how is it that badgers can raise a cornfield?
I'm currently trapped in a cornfield raised by badgers, but badgers, there are no punctuation marks.
Let's see here. 7-Eleven.
Okay.
Founded in 1927, formerly Sutherland Ice Company.
Been trapped in a
Yeah,
cornfield
it's true,
before.
Gary, that the impulse items at the desk are horrible, or at the register in convenience stores are horrible. They will get you. But here, my thing is I'm a real tight ass, and I'm like, nope, I'll go to the grocery store and buy it. Fuck that. There's a grocery store right up the road from here. I will not. If it's out in the middle of nowhere and I want a snack, I will fucking buy some at the gas station. Otherwise, I don't want to do that.
Okay, what's with the bongos?
Yeah, damn it, Jenny, it's loud.
I'm just whacking a bottle on the top of my head. That's all.
Oh, well, it's really loud.
Okay, I stop.
It literally sounded like cheap bongos.
I actually thought you were drumming on a plastic bucket.
No, just on my head.
I'm trying to be coherent as possible, but this herb is loud.
That's fair.
It's loud herb. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I have right now. I forgot the name, but I'm gonna tell you, it makes me fucking laugh.
Well, I don't know about raised by badgers, but I was raised by cats.
That explains it.
Yeah, well, the larger humans generally ignored me, so the cats took over.
You guys think you had it bad? I was raised by 3 women. Yes, I had like 3 moms because my sisters were so much older than me, and they mothered the shit out of me.
Well, I had the same thing.
Not
but I
in,
had-
usually in a good way.
Yeah,
You mean-
I
you mean
had
they,
5
they
sisters.
nursed you?
No, like they caught me doing stuff wrong and would discipline me or take me to mom. They just did this.
How dare you?
Mom had like 6 sets of eyes. They were spread out all over the house.
Yeah.
Or 6 sets. 3 sets of eyes, 6 eyes. Yeah.
Well, I was the youngest of 9, so there were always people around, and unfortunately, the problem is when you've got that many people who all think they're in charge, no matter what you do, half of them will tell you you did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of that in the house too. Like I would go to do something. See, I didn't get to do a lot of things growing up because they were just like, "I'll just do it." You don't know what you're doing. You're young.
Perp, you just have-
You're not. But they wouldn't teach me. They would just say I didn't know, and they would do it. So I had to just watch. I just watched everything, and that's how I learned so much shit.
Perp, you got to work at it a little harder. You should be able to get it up to 9 out of 10. Think you did a lousy job.
Hello, Miss
Maya,
Maya,
Hey,
Hey, Maya.
you're
our Maryland beauty queen.
Praise the goddess.
You were there in the beginning,
Yeah, 'cause
so
Maya
you
was
saw
the-
when
Maya's the
God
goddess.
created it all.
She's the goddess. She
No,
created it. What are you
Maya
talking-
did it,
God,
and then
my
Yahweh
ass.
showed up, tried to take credit, and fucked it all up.
Yeah. Well, so when Ken Ham asks, "Were you there?"
Maya and I did it together. If we
I have
if
one
we,
of those.
If we say a prayer and join our hands, so we can make anything happen. Just don't piss us off.
I love for a Christian to say that to me because then I give it right back to him. Well, were you there, asshole? I read in a book. So there's all kinds of books
Read
that are
it in a
fake.
book written by man.
I read a book that said Christians are good people. Hey,
Did you see that, Ember?
What now?
Read that.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm working on it now. In fact, that's what I keep turning to do. Is I'm doing my makeup for my show later.
Yeah, you said Alice in Wonderland gave you some tips on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Alice said I wasn't expecting. Alice is more like about the memes and boop, there's a trans girl makeup tutorial, and I'm like, okay, and it had some good stuff in it. Like
Actually,
mentioned
she just
before.
uploaded one today about her experience with the bottom surgery.
Yeah, coincidentally I was listening to that while I was shaving my assorted body parts because I'm in the shower for half an hour, so I'll put a longer show on.
Yeah, I only got to listen to about a third of it so far, and I wound up having to do other things.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
really like Alice, and
See, they don't
the
have that
way-
for trans guys. They'd have to have like, this is how you should set your package up, and for your body size, what size you should have, and they should do shit like.
oh,
No one will
there
do
need
that.
to be a lot more tips for trans people in every direction, because like
That's one of the things I really like about my job. We wear like scrubs all day, so nobody can see anything, so I don't have to worry about not having that.
Ebra, I realize
Area
you're
prominent.
mostly surrounded by amateurs here, but you do have a couple of long-term professionals around you too. You could always just ask questions. We'll
Oh, I know.
answer anything you want.
Yep, it's the truth. And Mage and I will shut up and listen to them. That's what we will do.
what color should I try for today? Do you think? I've got
For what? Eyes?
a whole fucking rainbow. Yeah,
What are you going to wear?
this.
That? Oh,
Well, if you got
I-
the
I-
blue
do you,
dress,
do you do you have anything better? Or...
Jenny.
Listen here, I really like this one.
I'm just teasing. I would say a medium to dark blue with a kind of a bright purple corner accent.
Ooh,
Okay,
that's fancy.
I think
A
I have enough
corner
colors to do
accent.
Do you do lashes too?
that. When I think of it,
Now let's get in the
Actually,
habit
I-
of doing the whole routine, huh?
it really is. Yesterday was my first time doing everything. A big part of it is eyeliner fucks me up. I keep poking myself in the eye. I know it takes practice,
Yeah,
but I keep poking myself in the eye.
I haven't learned to do my eyes yet.
Eventually, you blind yourself enough that you can't see that close up, so it doesn't scare you anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I actually should do that.
But it's
first,
also
so that if
questionable
I have
how
to
your
wipe it
makeup
off,
came
I
out
won't
too,
Wipe up all
so.
their stuff.
Jenny. Oh my goodness.
Well, that is one of the harder things about getting older is you don't see the makeup mirror as well, and you do your makeup and you think you're doing it okay, and then you go out on the street and people are laughing at you, so you have to go back home. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
I do. It was a horrible experience. Oh, you're talking about makeup. Also a horrible experience.
Ember,
Mhm.
I can give you one tip on that is if you have trouble, with the reverse image in the mirror, instead of using mirror, put on your camera and just watch yourself on the monitor. Because then
Actually,
the
I
motions
tried doing
aren't
that
reversed.
yesterday because I've got a nice big screen. It fucks me up even more. I do better with the mirror.
Because you're used to the mirror
Mark,
from
to
other
answer
stuff.
about half an hour, depending on how extensive. I know I'll pick up speed as I gain practice, but right now it's about a half an hour.
That's not bad.
You're doing awfully good for having not done it very long. I mean, when I first started out, for the whole showering and makeup routine was taking me 2 hours when I started.
I remember my first time. I was home sick from school, and I tried on every bit of my mom's makeup she had. It took about 3 seconds because all she had was eyeshadow. That's it.
Put
Mom
the eyeshadow
wasn't
on,
into
clean the
makeup.
eyeshadow off. Put the eyeshadow on, clean the eyeshadow off. I'll make this an hour deal yet. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I have to
That's
draw on
funny.
my eyebrows because the hair on my eyebrows has gotten so light that you literally can't see them if I don't put another color over them.
Well, just don't forget where your eyebrows belong and that permanent surprise look.
Yeah.
I remember my sisters asking me if I wanted to try their makeup and me saying no. And then I got older, and I guess I was probably like 12-ish, and some girls in school were starting to look at makeup, 12, 13. And by the time I was like 13, 14, they were trying to put makeup on me. I kept saying no. And then some girl put a bunch of makeup on me in high school. and took pictures of me. She was, I don't know, we were really high. It's a long story. Anyways, so she like dressed me up and did my hair and everything, and I looked like a pig with lipstick. But anyways, and then when I was 16, my mom and my sister got together and bought me a thing of makeup, and they did my face that night. My 16th
And you still
birthday.
have it.
It was fucking horrible. I actually had it for years because I'm kind of a hoarder, and then when I was like 22, I threw it out because I was like, "Why do I have this still? I'm never gonna wear this shit."
I'm
I
having
fucking
trouble.
hate makeup.
I'm having trouble processing you with makeup.
Me too. It was horrible. Yeah. I
Well,
look
we
like
should have a
fucking
gender bender
weird
night.
Toopy doll.
We should have a
Oh,
gender
God,
bender.
Nope.
Beck, we should have a gender bender night, and you can do makeup, and I can like get a fake beard. And
How the fuck are you gonna get makeup on my face with all this hair?
well, you put on really thick foundation.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Really, really thick.
I am gonna trim it down though. I decided I want to thin it out. I don't like. It's kind of pokey right here sometimes, and I just want to clean it up so I look neater at work. So after we get off of here, I'm gonna trim it down. Not
Yeah.
this, just the sides.
I usually just stay shaved.
Not the sideburns, just the sides. Go ahead. What?
I usually just stay shaved. It just gets too itchy.
Oh, I love having my facial hair. I'm like,
Oh my, that's not a bad idea.
Pull off a Joan Crawford look. Oh, go
don't know
like
what that means.
porcelain. Go porcelain.
Yeah, then just
Oh,
carry
I
around.
was thinking
carry
about
around
that
some
earlier.
hangers, you know, and
Hangers.
Brentley and I were talking. We keep trying to do a stream about Vlad the Impaler. It didn't work out again today. We ended up just picking on Frank Turek, but I thought for that stream I might go for like a vampire kind of look, since I am kind of pale. I could just wipe myself out and add like some red streaks or something. I thought it might be fun.
careful. There's a fine line between goth and clown.
Well, Goth uses more black and gray.
Doorknob, are you ADD by any chance? I was here at minute 2, then I dropped my laptop, then I decided to put my laundry in the wash machine, then I made a pot of beans, and now I'm here. That sounds like something I would do.
Yep.
Hey, I found, speaking of computers, I found a proper computer that Commander 401 pretty much approved. Some company is selling them on eBay. They got a year warranty and everything. I think it was a Dell
That's good.
for $500.
Did it come from the other side?
Why don't you just send the pictures to Ember, and if they want to share them, we can do that too.
Yeah, well, that's what we got for Sloth Girl. Was we got her a refurbished laptop.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a like rebuilt, refurbished one or something like that, but more towards gaming.
I've only bought.
I need
two,
a faster processor. My processor.
I've only bought 2 new computers in my life.
Yeah,
I'm fine with refurbished.
Yeah, mine's refurbished. The one I have right now, I'm on. And
Same.
actually, I think most of my computers have been actually my dad built.
That's handy.
Actually,
Doorknob, why would we care about the song? Huh?
Yeah,
I've got in
I
front of
agree,
me.
Doorknob Head. Look, tomorrow at like noon, we should all do a lazy off. Yeah.
I tried to organize a procrastinators festival once, but we all decided to do it later.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
I
only
get
got-
done working at 1:30, so let's do it 3:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I think
And
I've
I
only
won't show
gotten.
up either.
I think I've only gotten 2 new computers actually, like brand new.
the one sitting in front of me is the only computer I've ever had that was actually completely new, unless you go way back to my Commodore 64.
The
I've
new,
had-
all
the new
all the other
computer.
ones I've had have basically been Frankenstein together out of whatever spare parts friends were casting off when they upgraded.
I had one brand new desktop, and I gave it away when I was done using it because I wanted to start doing more stuff on the internet. Before that, I was just browsing or typing, that was it. So then I I like games now. So I gave that one away. Then I bought a small laptop, and also had, when I got my phone, it came with one of those. Remember, everybody got the Samsung 8-inch tablets for free. You go to Sprint and you buy a phone. It was like 15 years ago. Anyways, so I had one of those, and then someone stole my bag, my laptop bag, and took my laptop and like all my fucking phone accessories, everything with them. And then I bought this laptop. So that's pretty much it for me. That's all the new shit I've ever had.
The new computer thing I bought for myself was, well, let's see, this was way back when digital picture screens like were just invented, and I bought a 23-inch cinema, a cinema display. Apple called it. It was $2,800, and well, it was the latest and greatest, and I had the money at the time, so I bought it, and it was just the coolest damn thing ever. And then within 2 years, the prices were down in half.
And you're really just
sometimes you got to spoil yourself. It happens.
I still have it. It still works.
Should spoil yourself sometimes. Maya said, "Live dick? Where?
Where?
Why do you keep finding dead dick? I mean, I don't know where you live, Maya, but you might want to consider moving."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, I do work at the morgue back." No, she doesn't work. Not joking horribly. That could be a joke, but she actually works as a place for old folks, but not directly with them. At least as far as I remember, Maya, tell me if I'm wrong. It's been years since we have discussed that.
So do you have
Anyways,
a side
the joke
business
was
providing spare organs?
The joke was if that is really where she works, then there are a lot of dead dicks in there because they ain't working anymore.
Well,
Let's start that rumor. Maya works at a morgue. It is a retirement home. Thank you. Okay.
Well, rigor mortis sets in, and we've got that whole he is risen thing all wrong.
He is risen. Well, if you
He
never
is
died to
risen
begin
indeed.
with, I think they put some kind of funky thorns on his head and it poisoned him and knocked him out, and he came 2-3 days later. It's the closest thing you can get to me for believing in Jesus shit.
Dudes, one time I got so wasted, I passed out for 3 days and woke up in a tomb.
It was so trippy, bro. It was crazy, man.
I might take a nap in a tomb. Cemeteries are so peaceful.
But that actually was a fairly common thing. I mean, right up through Victorian times, they had things like putting bells on coffins because they kept burying people who were still alive.
Yeah, in fact,
We didn't know.
He
He knocked on the coffin 3 days later. We'll put a string and attach it to their finger. If they pull it, we'll unbury them. That's don't set them somewhere for 3 days and then bury them. Just go ahead and bury them and give them a bell.
That's where the expression "saved by the bell" comes from.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh my God, are you kidding me, Sabrina? And hello.
It's true.
It's also where the
Saved by
expression
the
the graveyard.
No,
It's also
literally.
where the
I'm
expression
alive, bitch.
graveyard
I'm
shift comes
alive.
from.
Yeah,
Because
they would have to
there
sit
would
there
be
and-
somebody whose responsibility it would be to just walk the graveyard at night to see if any of the bells ring.
Yep, and if they did, they'd have to dig them out. That was their job. Yep.
And the bell was set up on the top of the grave and extended down into the grave, and they could.
I do
Dead
not
ringer.
believe you. How could the string pull the bell through all that friction of the dirt?
Well, it was this tube that connected. it
Oh,
down.
there was a tube, really. Would that be a dead
Well,
guy bell tube?
not always a tube. There'd be a little hole in the casket, and the string would be tied, and they'd keep
Made
the
by
rope
Stanley.
above ground. They'd throw
Dead
the
guy
dirt
bell
in,
tubing.
Uh-huh.
and then they'd
Yeah.
pull on the string to make sure it would pull, and then they'd attach it to the bell.
Leave the fake stories to me, guys. You know, it's
No, that wasn't.
Go look it up,
We
Jenny.
do leave
Go
the fake
look it up.
stories to you.
And it wasn't just for people who were buried alive. It was also for in case of grave robbers, because when they'd go to steal a body, it would also pull on the string and ring the bell.
uh-huh.
Last time I
Okay.
visited Henry Home was
Multiple
17.
layers of utility.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, I think they just do that to scare you, doorknob. Like we went to, when I was in church when I was little, before I was old enough to say fuck this shit, I don't want to do it anymore. They take us around on the holidays to the retirement communities and like shut in people, and we would like sing holiday songs to them and shit. So why they torture children with that, I have no idea. I felt bad for all those people. I went out there so sad every fucking time. They were giving me money. Oh, you're so cute. You have some money. I'm like, I don't want your money. I'm sorry. You're about to die.
Well, here's an example of how one setup they had for it. It was
Yep.
connected to the coffin. So the whole coffin is buried, except for this one little piece, or this sticks up out of the ground, and they just pull that string and it rings a bell.
Yeah, and a lot of them, it was just a pipe that came up from the top of the coffin, because then that would also allow the chance that if the person did wake up, that they'd be able to get some air in.
You know, I can see it like 1,000 years from now, right? People find bodies left over from this era, and they're like, why is everybody buried with a rope? Why? And then they start investigating it, thinking it's some kind of like tradition or cultural thing, and they really start digging into it and just have no idea why. That we were so stupid that we buried people alive back then.
No, I think we'd still know with records we have.
Yeah, the
Well,
legends aren't
our
likely to
definition
fade.
of definition of death has changed every decade since all of us were born. They have a real different perspective on what qualifies as dead today than they used to.
Carrie, that's only because you're like almost 6 foot tall, and by the time you were 12, you were the size of an adult. They just didn't know you were a kid. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, can't rule it out.
She is super tall
Okay.
though.
Real question though. Nail polish. Is there like a primer you're supposed to put on first? Because I am
You
just
can, but
streaking
it's
like
not
crazy.
You can, but it's not really necessary. You're going to do 2, maybe 3 coats anyways. It could get good coverage by then.
Well, I used
Okay.
Sally Hansen hard as nails just because my nails are so weak they tear easily. So I put that down just as a clear primer coat, and it helps strengthen the nails a bit.
And
Why
there's
does that look
another-
like a dildo phone? What is that?
There's another example of the ring bell thing where it has the tube.
Yep.
So the
It's
string
a
goes down.
series of tubes.
So you have the bell at the top in the little box, and then it goes down, and the string goes down to that tube, and they can ring the bell from there.
You do know that air doesn't really go in there unless there's somewhere for it to go out, right?
Yeah, I don't think they had figured that part out at the time.
Maya, are you talking about like a clear bottom base coat is what Ember should do first? Maya said otherwise some of it'll stain your nails.
Oh, I'm not worried about it staining my nails. I'm worried about, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but this it's streaky.
Oh, it looks
And I'm
good.
like, that's not right.
The camera's not going to see that.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but again, with the clear base coat, that helps mine, because I've got some rather pronounced ridges, and it kind of fills the ridges in.
For most darker reds especially. Yeah, that's just like I was a painter and there was this fad at the time back when I had a painting company, early 2000s. and everybody wanted a bit like dark red walls in their houses. I don't know, it was some design trend or something. So all these people kept asking us to do that. So what we did was we took gray primer and added the color that we were going to use on the walls anyways, that same tint, into it. And you put one cover of that on, and that shit just covers like that. There's no bleeding through, no white showing through. So there's your painting tip for the day. Purples, some blues, some medium to dark blues, and reds. You need to do that. It'll cover like a breeze.
I thought the dark red became such a trend because it made was easy to cover the blood stains.
Maybe, who knows?
But it still shows through with luminol.
Damn, luminol ruins everybody's fun.
Oh,
The
it does.
grave robbers could just easily cut the string off the bell and keep it from alerting people to their nefarious activities.
Only
It's
if they
true.
were competent.
That's pretty much the only purpose for most base coats. Much like purple, I also put the nail strengthener on underneath. Oh, that's cool. So you get a
Yeah,
double layer of nail strengthener.
You know what you might want to try, Amber, is this powder. Have you ever seen the powder polish and stuff like that? You paint this very very light liquid on your nails, and then you dip your nail into this pile of powder, and it adheres a few molecules worth on the substance you painted, and it hardens almost instantly.
Really?
I hadn't
Mhm.
heard about that one. I was wondering about getting one of those, UV light things that kind of, you get the special polish and it like bakes it on.
You don't want to necessarily use that frequently. The UV that you're putting yourself under is the various nastiest kind that there is, and there are many cases of cancer that has developed under fingernails.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I didn't know if it should really be trusted or how you tell if it's a decent one. But
I do it like once a year maybe, but
Mm.
that's all I would risk it.
yeah, because I
hi,
have a
Sabrina.
terrible problem with the polish always just chipping and flaking off way too quick.
Sabrina, did you get that?
Yeah, I heard you. I was just chuckling because I've been here for a little bit.
Only like 15
Not
minutes.
awful.
Yeah, about 15 minutes. Yeah.
I saw you there.
Hell,
Hey,
I
babe,
You were
even
just
said
being
hi.
quiet.
Beck, I sent you that picture of the praying mantis, right? The video of that praying mantis.
Yes.
Oh, you should show that to the group.
Did you send that
Hold
to
on.
Bray?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
You must
it's a
always
bug
send
thing.
We probably
of
already saw
course.
it.
Bree probably put it on Twitter for the rest of us to find.
Of course, I would. Bria is in love with praying mantises. So I would never forget her for that.
I've only seen praying mantis in my garden once, but it was so cool.
I've always thought that they're one of the coolest bugs out there, and I knew that they were, bugs eat bugs. But the thing that you're about to see, folks, is holy fuck. you're gonna
Well, is a
love
praying
it.
mantis eating some sort of larger animal?
Yes.
Okay. I think I've seen this actually. So, but let's confirm.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
they are-
science project.
Hold on.
Is the praying
One of
mantis
our-
being one of
My
his relatives?
late fiance's best friend ordered praying mantises to hatch out with her kids. She was not quite prepared for what they got, though, because
Which-
it was this actually fairly small little egg sac that they got and put in the terrarium. And when it hatched, they got like 300 of them.
Oh,
Oopsie.
Wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? That's weird. Never seen it
Did you
pop up
break
like
it?
that from Twitter.
Oh,
I don't know.
thank you, Carrie. That's very kind.
Maybe.
Like, wow. Oh, this is it. Yes.
sped it up.
He's just munching the shit out of it. Like it's like on 100 times speed or some shit.
I love how it eats the legs like a piece of spaghetti.
Yeah, I know. Just stuck them right in some bob.
If it was anything other than a cockroach, I think I'd feel bad. But
I can't even believe it ate the whole thing. I had no idea
Yeah.
it would do that. I mean, the shell and all, man. Like it
Leave no
needs some
evidence.
fiber.
Well, he
Look at
left
that,
a
gone.
well, he left a leg and some bits and
Oh, he's
pieces
cleaning
right
himself
there.
now.
that's its intestine residue, I think.
Well, they need the shell themselves so that, you know, when they molt, then they need all that material to build themselves a new shell.
Well, everybody, did you like that little video?
Okay, now who's disgusted by that? I thought it was neat.
I thought it
I'm
was cool
vaguely
as hell.
hungry,
I like
And
it.
honestly.
I'm both simultaneously disgusted and in awe.
Ew, how cool. Ew,
the
I
real-
have to
Pretty
watch it.
much.
And the relatives too.
Well, now makes me want to get some praying mantises and doing a big survey of what kind of bugs would they eat, and film them all.
I saw another one of a praying mantis just, tracking a housefly, and just the speed of their strike is incredible. You know how fast flies move.
Oh, I saw one of a praying mantis eating one of those big ass, scary, dangerous hornets. It just grabs it and overpowers it and eats it alive. It's
Is it
great.
a murder hornet?
Yeah.
The murder hornet got murdered.
Well, it teaches it a lesson.
So are you saying that honeybees should hire mantises as their door guards?
Yes.
Sure.
Hey, NA. What's up, buddy? He said, if I come back, I want to come back as a praying mantis. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Male or
pretty freaking
female?
cool. Yeah,
Female.
it depends. Females are
For,
bigger
for,
than
for
most
praying
bugs,
mantis,
right?
female.
Yeah.
Praying mantis females eat their mate once they
Yes.
finish mating.
That's why it's like the tarantulas. You don't want to be the male.
The
Well-
male praying mantis eats them before, and then she eats him after.
Okay, so
Think about it.
hear me out.
Do I have to?
Damn it, Jenny.
I know out there are
He
people
died up to
who would be specifically interested in being the males in that situation. Are there any vor enthusiasts around here? I guess not. Anyway, so
I was going to say, I'm sure if you go on FetLife, you'll find some people who will take you up on that. But
Mhm.
There you go, Ember.
Well, I have heard of
Alright.
somebody who wanted to be eaten, and they found somebody who wanted to eat them.
Yeah, that was in Germany. I remember that.
I want to
story.
find someone who wants to eat me. Nobody? Okay.
I wasn't gonna bite at that one because you're like my uncle.
Yeah, no, it would be kind of weird for me,
Natural
Sabrina. It really
defense.
would.
it's
and
funny,
you know,
the age
Ember's like a
difference
younger
makes the
sibling to me,
relationship.
so that would be weird. And
Yeah.
Jenny's like Aunt Jenny, and it's Aunt Purple, and Mage is like a nephew.
Yeah,
Potentially
developing
being a
I'd love
tree
to
could
be
be
great.
a sense
As
of
long
familial
as
bonds
you're
with people.
Protected tree, so nobody cuts you down.
But I mean,
You're
that's,
really
that's,
rolling the
that's a
dice
wonderful thing to be specific about. But I mean, I just think it would be interesting being a tree. in
Period.
general.
well, if you ever need to hide a body, make sure you plant an endangered species on top of it, because then they got to go through so much paperwork to dig it up. They probably won't bother.
Well, there are those things where you can plant yourself as a tree.
Yeah,
Or
the
the-
body farms, those have been approved in Minnesota now.
Yeah, you
That
know,
basically they'll just put the body in a burlap sack and put a sapling on top of it.
yeah. Or
Well,
the-
no, it depends. Hold on, it depends on the body and what they want to do. Some of them they bury in gravel, some they bury in dirt, some they bury in sand. Different conditions, wet, dry, whatever. So that's why they use Tennessee, because Tennessee has such a full range of seasons. And that's why they put it there.
And no sense of
Um,
environmental responsibility either.
No, Tennessee doesn't. No. So yeah, so they have basically they look like flower planters, and there's different bodies in them, and they're marked with which ones they are, and you can look into it and walk around and check them out. Yeah.
Well, I had said that, just decades
Good
ago. That's
doorknob.
why I had always said that to be buried, I didn't want them to spend thousands of dollars on a casket or anything. Just a basic pine box so it would decompose and put a pine cone on my chest.
Yeah, so you turn into something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
literally would become a tree.
But
Well, if
you
you're
know,
gonna do that, you might as well have them go ahead and like sprinkle some fertilizer on you to make sure they have a good start, and also put in like around your head and your feet flowers, so you have a tree with the flowers growing around it.
Mhm.
But I don't think you could be buried more than. I think you'd have to do something illegal and only go 3 foot down, or I don't think it would.
interesting. If you're transplanting a tree, actually, you don't want to add fertilizer.
Okay.
What a coincidence, Carrie. We were just talking.
Because you want the roots to grow out and seek out more nutrients and stuff.
Oh,
Yep.
that makes sense.
So if you put the fertilizer right there where you've transplanted, it'll just stay in that one area until.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You should probably put the fertilizer around the outside of the pine box.
Yeah, if the roots don't spread far enough, it won't be stable, and a strong wind could take
Hey.
it over.
Hey, Carrie Ann.
Yeah, why don't you just infuse the pine box with fertilizer? I don't know. I'm just getting stupid now. Don't listen to me.
Carrie Ann, I was just thinking that if you did that, you could always have somebody like stop by once a year and take your picture and send it to the relatives about how you're doing, Christmas card kind of thing.
Oh, she's rotting so well, you guys. They have her in a nice sand and gravel mixture with low
Ooh, look, her
humidity.
head
She's at the
fell
top
off.
of the hill.
Hell yeah.
So she's doing some dry decaying. She looks really good, though. Really.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
That
Megan's-
eyeliner
Megan's
you
a bit
guys
here.
used really lasted.
I do want them to
Thank you
donate
for the
my
link,
brain
Sandra.
to some university that's doing research on autism.
Hmm.
If they can figure out, something from me about what makes the autistic brain different, so it helps the future generations.
Now that you said that, Doorknob Head, I have to tell you guys a story. So there's a small lake river area in Ohio, in just north of central Ohio, or a little bit south of it, actually. I'm sorry. So they had used to be a town there, and they flooded the area, for water, blah, 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 flow, blah, 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 right? So like 20 some odd years later, these bodies start popping up in the water because they never removed the graveyard. And the dirt on top finally washed away enough, and bodies just started floating to the top. So the joke there is you can go fishing, but it's catch and release. Don't eat that shit.
Why
Real
not?
talk.
I mean,
I don't know.
you can
something
if you
about-
really want.
Ebola, or I don't know. Name anything that's nasty that can come from an
Well-
animal or a protein or
Fish are probably going to eat
plant.
whatever bodies that get into the ocean.
Yep.
I mean, the whole ocean and all lakes and stuff already have all sorts of rotting dead bodies in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like a whole bunch of humans floating around. I feel like that's a different level
Well,
versus like 1,000 mosquitoes.
well,
Yeah,
they
know,
gotta be
it
pretty
would
far
be a
along by
question.
now.
It would be a question of whether or not any human pathogens could survive long enough to be transmitted.
well, just make sure you cook it well. Should take care of anything.
I don't know if I still wouldn't do that. Like the state recommended that you don't eat out of that body of
Well,
water.
Carrie's got a point that embalming fluid is probably not good for your system.
It probably gases off. It's mostly formaldehyde
Yeah, that's true.
with a little
I'm not-
cinnamon and a little ginger.
If I'm not mistaken,
Actually,
there
they
are pathogens that can survive super long periods of time. In fact, what was it?
Well, there's Trump.
Well,
Well, we did find
Yeah, but we haven't
more
killed Trump
viruses
yet.
in the permafrost in
And-
Siberia.
Anybody
Ah,
from the Ford family.
Thank you, Ember. I knew somebody would know what I'm talking about here. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too with the glaciers in Greenland breaking up. Are we going to be releasing some kind of disease that has been dormant for 20,000 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow burn deliverance. Yeah, real
yeah.
slow burn.
But yeah, that shit is scary because none of us are immune to that anymore. We have no defense.
Yeah. 401, we hope you enjoyed your nap.
I should have.
The end scene where the dude dreams of the body popping out of the water. Yeah. Donald Trump is a walking STD. Did you see the thing with the blisters on his fingers?
Yes.
And since he
I wrote
never
a
does
rather
manual labor,
I wrote a
Go ahead,
rather
Jenny.
extensive explanation for that, and how it had to do with an extended period of creating friction on the fingers in a kind of a stroking motion, as you can see by the type of wound that it is. And well, never mind. It was too thin. And
I think none of us would appreciate thinking about Donald Trump in that particular regard.
Well, sorry, I just put it in your head.
I know, which is
I
why I'm telling
own
you
you.
shut the fuck up, please.
Oh,
I own you.
thank you, NA, for mentioning the small soft hands. I still have to put my berry flavored smelly stuff on.
He does. He has small, soft hands. That's because he's never. But you know what? All those people that sit there, the worst they're going to get all day is maybe a little callus from flipping through papers and a paper cut. Like that's their life. So
Well, paper cuts hurt like hell. So
actually, paper cuts do hurt worse than anything else. I mean, not worse than anything else. I've been cut in half, literally. That hurts way worse than a paper cut. But what I'm saying is that in general, cuts on your hands, paper cuts are horrible.
mm-hmm.
Thank you for reminding me of that painful experience. Why not just give me a nice paper cut and pour lemon juice in it now?
Oh, yeah.
Here's some
I
vinegar.
need to get some lemon juice.
I've
Want some
never heard
salt?
a piece of paper wine from a cut. I just never.
The whole place will smell of bacon. No, he wouldn't smell that good. I think it's going to smell like a 3-week-old Depends.
Or my grandmother's solution to any scrape or cut, iodine.
Yeah, I think that Trump is just going to smell like the McDonald's dumpster that's been sitting in the direct sunlight in July.
What's up, brother?
Actually, and Chair, I don't think he ever is actually on the toilet. I think that he has people who come in there and hold him up, hovering over the toilet, so he doesn't actually have to touch it. And then he doesn't let them, wipe, because that would be gay.
Yeah. Don't wipe. That's too gay. God, no. Could you imagine, like, have you ever, like, been at work and you're in a hurry and people are in and out of the bathroom, you just want to get out of there and, like, leave a little bit of poop on your butt and it starts itching? I don't know about you guys, but it starts itching in, like, 5 or 10 minutes to me. That's what happens to me. So I know immediately
I'm
that I
OCD
missed.
about it.
So there is no way in fucking hell. How in the hell can you walk around like that?
Yeah.
I can't stand it at all.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm
We need to change the
OCD. I
subject.
make
That's
sure
okay.
that shit is spotless.
Can we get a new
same here.
non-Trump and non-shit related subject?
Thank you.
Well, this is 2024.
Hey,
so no.
rainbows?
Hey, nice.
Oh, cool.
I could
There
only
you go.
fit 5
That's a
colors
different
because I
Bring
only have
that up,
5 fingers,
yeah,
but
bring that all the way up.
Well,
Oh, see, I'm lucky there.
Throw
I
another
got.
finger to do a proper
Oh, no.
rainbow flag.
I'm lucky there, Amber. I got
I
12.
know I need another
well-
finger.
Well, that yeah.
I got 12. Whatever, Jenny.
I do.
Well, you know.
Well,
Didn't you know that?
technically, we all have 8 fingers and 2 thumbs.
No, wait a minute. Didn't you know I was polydactyl?
No, the thumb counts as a finger.
I thought you were Jenny Morgan.
Yeah, but I'm a specialist.
Mate, shut up. So yeah, it's really 8 fingers and 2 thumbs.
No, you just You
So
want
the berry thing, Andrew, it's my oldest said you need to use lotion because it'll moisturize and soften your skin, but also you'll smell nice, and it's like way more reliable a smell than perfume. Like perfume, sometimes it can be too much, it can be cloying. Whereas the scent from lotion stuff, this is just a Walmart grab. It's called Berries and Bubbly, and it's raspberry and sparkling citrus and vanilla, and
You,
it's a nice subdued scent, but it's a nice scent.
you know what I've
Look
learned
like-
now that I'm an official old lady. I've been talking to my fellow blue hairs, and it turns out it's not a mistake when they put on too much perfume. It's intentional. They want to piss you off.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
really? They're being assholes.
unfortunately,
That's
it
what they
works
do.
Way too well on me.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
That kills me in a fucking restaurant. You know what's worse is at work. So in the Hispanic community, most of the Hispanic guys put on a lot of cologne. We don't know why. Not the women. The women don't excessively do perfume. One or two here or there, but the guys, even like teenage boys, all of them, it's like they start doing it when they're teenagers and they just do it forever. They just took a bottle and dumped it on their fucking head every day. So I walk in the elevator behind these people and I'm like, oh, it's cheap too. Oh God. What is that? Generic? It's generic Dracar Noir. Oh my God, I'm gonna sneeze. So I'm like in the elevator trying not to like get a sinus infection behind these fuckers. I'm like, you're working in a hospital. Why are you putting on cologne?
It's
Hold on a second.
It's
They
habit.
work in a hospital? Isn't that just
Yeah.
against the rules?
Yeah.
I guess not.
Oh come on! It was only 2
That-
bottles of Axe.
Well, my understanding is, at least in most healthcare settings, like there's a no sense policy,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It-
All I know is it's
it-
horrible.
I could imagine someone in that context being fired for it because, like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
you're going to hurt people.
Yeah.
Well,
'cause
that's
you
I'm
can have
really
people with allergies.
sensitive to any kind of chemical fragrances. You know, just a lot of people walking by. You know,
Yeah.
just the fabric softener in their clothes will be enough to set me off.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't even use fabric softener.
I think it's those people that take the fabric softener sheets and put them in their clothes so they stay smelling fresh in their drawers, and then they take them because it's
Oh.
stronger than when you take it out of the laundry.
Well,
There's
it's
no
also,
way that scent stays there so long. I think they put it in and it just gets into the fabric. You know what I mean?
well,
There's
some
a
found a
brands
completely-
advertise that.
I found a completely organic way to soften my clothes. I don't have to use that stuff anymore. I do like the indigenous Americans did. I chew it. I chew the fabric and
I don't
soften
No,
it.
that's not how they did it.
Jenny, I don't think that's.
Yeah, that's
I don't think that's quite how it worked. I'm just. gonna say
I've
that.
only done that once, and that's because I sewed a vest out of beef jerky.
Special order for Lady Gaga.
I
Yeah.
mean, what
so
exactly
fabric
is fabric softener? Isn't it just some kind of like an oily, smelly substance? Could
I
you just
don't-
like put your own natural oils of whatever scent you like into the washer and it would do the same thing?
What fabric
After
softener
the- you know,
is
after
mostly
the-
for?
Rinse cycle.
Fabric softener is mostly to remove all of the fillers that they put in the detergent. Because especially if you're using a powdered detergent, they'll use
Uh-huh.
cellulose as a filler just to make it a bigger box.
Yes,
so
I have
basically,
heard of
you're
that.
washing your
lot of-
clothes in bleached sawdust. So then you need something to get the sawdust out in the rinse cycle.
I was
A lot of
talking to
the
Mama Deb.
detergents.
I'm sorry, finish that sentence, Ember.
Yeah, in the
Or
old days,
three.
you'd use your detergent, and then you'd use starch, so that when you iron stuff, it stays nice, flat, and prim. So nowadays, they just have an all-in-one detergent, so there's starch included. So you use fabric softener to negate the starch, so that your clothes are soft instead of stiff.
Why are we paying to work harder? That's ridiculous.
Some alternatives. You can use a little bit of vinegar or baking soda or
Well,
Yeah,
well,
Epsom
Mama
salt.
Deb and I were talking about that, and I showed her a recipe I knew that my ex uses, and it's borax, some kind of like plain powdered detergent. It doesn't have anything in it; it's just powdered detergent, right? And then it's got something else in it, and you mix those together. It's also some kind of soap. It's like a hard soap, and you put it in the blender and you blend it up so it's like in little tiny flakes. And then you throw that in, and I mean, you talk about clean fucking clothes.
Yeah.
Like Deb did a small batch, and she said, "Oh my god!" And then she did the one she did. What was the kind that you make into liquid when you're done after you mix it all up? You put it into a big 5-gallon bucket and keep mixing water in, and you got to keep it hot, whatever, let it cool down, whatever. There's like a recipe to it because it's chemistry. So there is a real recipe. But when she was done, she ended up with, I think it was like she spent $7 on the ingredients, and she ended up with like 5 2-gallon jugs of fucking detergent.
I've been meaning to switch out to a more homemade detergent so I can use it for watering my garden afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be semi-plant safe.
Yeah. White vinegar is actually great for, if you're trying to get odors out of your clothes. Just put a 1/4 cup of white vinegar in the load.
Thank you, Anjur. Why do people do that? You go to their house and they give, oh, here's a fresh, clean towel. I just took it out of the dryer, and it doesn't
Yeah.
dry you off because it's got so much fucking fabric softener on that. Like people put fabric softener on like the little cleaning cloths for your glasses. Don't put fabric softener on those. It
just
smears your
leaves
fucking
streaks,
glasses.
Yeah.
Like
I
that.
don't use.
I've done
I
that
don't
by
ever use
accident.
fabric softener. It's just not necessary.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I have
I
no
never
reason
use
to.
the liquid fabric softener. I do put the sheets in the dryer.
I don't use anything. It just irritates me.
Yeah, well, I do have to get the stuff that's all, no dyes and no perfumes.
Well, that's the thing is, like, all these women want all their laundry to smell a certain way, but if they just put in this much effort, and now they even make laundry sheets, and it's washer detergent sheets, and you pull it out and you throw it in, and it totally dissolves. It's minimal. One sheet does like a whole, or half a sheet does a whole load. So like that's a really good deal. I mean, they're kind of expensive, but you don't have the plastic waste and everything. All you have is a cardboard box when you're done. You can recycle it.
Okay, why
So,
isn't anyone
I'm all
eating
about that.
borax?
Well, people are eating Tide Pods for a while too, Purple. Why were they trying to get high? That's why they do everything. That's why they stick alcohol tampons up their ass. They're trying to get drunk. Like, they're fucking stupid.
Tide Pod challenge.
We just
What?
drank the shit. That's what we did. We just drank it.
Sabrina, that's before they're used.
No, I that's not what I was wanting. But anyway.
Okay, Andrea, does the aluminum foil actually help that? That's the only reason I use the dryer sheets, is that, it knocks down the static.
That
I've
really
never
works?
Bothered.
I've heard of that. I didn't even know.
I've heard of it. I've never tried it.
I can see that working. That makes sense.
Ammonia is excellent. I use right now. I use liquid Tide, and I don't get the static on my clothes like that. I don't know if it's got something in it or not, but it smells good. See, I'm one of those people. I just want my clothes to smell good.
Well, see,
Ammonia
the
is excellent
static
for
generally
removing
builds
garage
up in the
oils and
dryer.
dirt. Tide Pods.
Tide
Hey, you
Pods.
guys, we're bored. Who wants to eat some detergent? Me. What? Like,
you gotta
how
put
did-
you gotta put up Doorknob Head's latest.
Alcohol tampons. Thanks for the info. Now I'm dangerous. That's literally what they've been doing. They've been doing it for like 5 or 6 years now, I think. Right, Jenny? You've probably heard of that too.
No, I
Alcohol
have not.
tampons?
You didn't?
No, this
No.
is
Yeah,
the
alcohol,
first I've heard of it.
vodka soaked tampons, and they were sticking them. The girls were sticking them vaginally, and the boys were putting them in their asses, and they were fucking ODing on alcohol.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I heard about
literally
that.
overdosing.
Liver.
on it.
Well,
skips
yeah,
the
I've
liver
heard
that
about
way.
people doing alcohol enemas and
Yeah.
getting really
It-
messed up
it-
because then it bypasses all your body's
Well,
filters.
we
and
were all
heads
taught
right
Same
up your
principle.
intestine.
we were
Yeah,
all
it goes
taught that.
right to your fucking heart.
We were all taught how to do that by our lovely Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. It's called boofing. Remember? Yeah, Jason
I didn't know
Jacoby
that's
knows
what
it.
boofing was. I never bothered to look it up.
That you put a funnel on a hose and you stick it where you want to do that and fill it with beer. I like beer. You know?
So
I love
they
beer.
hear the
You don't
hose. I guess it doesn't
understand.
matter. They're all asses. It's not like anybody's putting it in their mouth. I hope. But
It-
ooh,
I just like just being able to look at Brett Kavanaugh and visualize him doing that, and it shows how much respect I have for him as a Supreme Court judge.
yeah, exactly, Carol. That shit's dangerous. That mucous membrane. I mean, it's just like coke addicts. Why do you think they don't like someone will smoke it because they don't want to snort it? But the reason they snort it is because there's so much mucous membrane in your nasal passage that it hits fast. There's no like taking a pill and waiting 30 minutes. So yeah, it's dangerous because it hits so fast that you don't have like that when you're drinking. You go, oh, I'm going to do a shot. Oh, I'm going to drink a chaser. Now I'll do another shot. But when you get all the shots at once, you don't know how much you can tolerate at that
Yeah.
moment.
This is why
So-
my nitroglycerin is taken under the tongue, sublingual. as it's
Exactly.
called.
Fast acting. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Seems
have
very-
noticed that for the Xanax that it kicks in a lot faster if I just let dissolve in my mouth rather than swallow it.
Also, with B12, if you're taking need B12 supplements, you let it dissolve underneath your tongue. That's
Okay.
the best way to get it into your system. If
Yeah,
you-
the
if you
Xanax
swallow-
tastes horrible, but it definitely helps it quicker when I'm having a panic attack.
No, Carrie, you have never given off Karen vibes. You're totally like awesome.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You have
supportive,
Karen vibes, you have
kind
Carrie
person.
vibes.
You have Carrie vibes. They're good.
Well,
It's a good way to hydrate if you can't get clean water. Well, Jason, while we're on that subject, in Sweden for a few years now, they've been experimenting with swine to oxygenate them through their anal passageway. So I'm sure you can hydrate
no,
too.
wait a minute.
Why not?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What?
Yes, it's working.
Hydrate that way.
Hey,
You're going,
Porpoise.
you're going to take a swine and you're going to hook it up to some kind of hose, and then you're going to put it in your what?
Put it in the pig's ass, and it will
Oh,
oxygenate
the
the pig.
pig's
And they're
ass.
experimenting to see if they can do that for humans. Like someone has a serious facial or throat neck injury and they can't breathe right. You might be able to save lives because they're going to die before you get them to the hospital. You got what, 3 minutes? There's like, you can't fight that, right? So it's stuff like that. And also I was thinking that if they're doing surgeries, instead of having to intubate the person through their throat, they would have more of an open pathway to do surgeries on people. They could probably fix so much more stuff as far as like, throat, vocal cords, blah, blah, blah.
The proctologists aren't going to like that very much.
So if someone
And the
isn't
airway itself.
breathing, you shove an air hose up their butt and you keep the compressor running until the EMTs get there.
I don't think I don't think we need a compressor. I think that might be a little serious.
No, if compressor's fine. You got to bring up the air pressure somehow.
DKH, you got to go to Sweden. They're not doing it here.
Again, it's not
don't-
going to just go in there unless there's something coming out.
You
know,
do not
it's-
want forced air going through your digestive tract. Trust me.
Well, that's what they do when you get a colonoscopy. Is they pump your gut full of air. Don't you know
Is
that?
it forced air in
I
your
was
digestive
unconscious for
tract
that.
just farting?
Oh well, okay, that's what they're doing, among other things.
I'm so glad I came in at just the right time for this conversation.
Welcome.
Oh,
Did you
no,
ever
no,
notice
no.
how-
Hi, Porpoise.
Did you
Porpoise,
ever
believe
notice how?
me,
did-
you are
did
so glad you did not come in about 15 minutes earlier. You can go
It was
ahead and
worth-
Yeah.
play if you don't believe me.
Bike
I
pump,
wanna know.
bike pump's better. Bike
Amber,
pump's better.
haven't you ever seen how many wedding rings a colonoscopy doctor has?
What?
No, I actually think that the oxygen going into the anus would have to be a very slow flow, slow flow of oxygen with a high oxygen percentage. Because if you push too much air into a person, you can actually cause harm and put them in pain. There's some procedures that you get air buildup in your shoulders, and it's
Oh, yeah.
very painful, and you have to just wait for it to go away. So I don't think they
Yeah.
would do anything high pressure. I think it would be
No, I think you're right. It would be
like 2 LPM with a very high percentage of oxygen.
Yeah.
Porpoise, you know what my most favorite DOS command is? C:\enter.
That's not a command, that's a prompt.
Oh, stop it.
No, I'm just
You've been detailed.
now I'm just imagining somebody with a tire air pump up their ass, and somebody was throwing.
Well, technically, that will change your DOS command drive because you can go, I think, A through Z on drive.
Trees.
Hey, trees.
I mean, yeah, you can, sure. My 5.5-inch floppy was my A. My 3 1/4, or is it 5 1/4 and 3 1/2? Whichever. The smaller floppy was B.
No one
and
has those
the
anymore.
hard disk was C. I know nobody has fun things. I
I mean,
always wanted to get one of the like the 19-inch floppies.
So how did we go from being floppy and bigger and hard and smaller?
Oh my god.
Nobody could handle a 19-inch floppy. Can you imagine how big that thing would get?
19 inches.
It's not a few
Yes.
days. I think it's a 24-hour period where right before you go to bed at night or something, and they do it the next morning, and you have to stop eating, and then they make you drink this stuff that cleans you out. Yes, but it's not a
Because-
few days. It's hours. It's like 12 hours or 8 hours or something like that.
When I had to
Yeah,
do one, it was just
it's
don't
not
eat for
it's not
18
days,
hours.
but it can be a day.
They can't make you go without food for days. You'd be dead.
Why do we need a disk that can hold 1.44 megabytes at most when we have a solid state drive here that can hold, this one I think holds 500 megabytes?
Do you guys remember the flip phones?
500 gigabytes. Sorry.
They
Sure.
still exist, you know.
Well, I've got
256K, baby, or whatever it was.
I've got external drives that hold 2 terabytes.
Flip
Yeah.
phones.
Oh,
Flip
yeah,
phones
yeah.
are coming back.
And those are the
Slim
kind of
can
the lower
swallow
end ones.
sword.
I've got a bunch of 4 terabytes in my box over here because my, photography, you need to archive your stuff.
Yeah, but that's different, Porpoise, because those flip into an entire touchscreen phone. They don't flip up into. I said hi with an exclamation mark.
I
I
might
could always,
I also have a
reason-
sonic screwdriver that's extendable.
I've got one of those. In
I
fact,
have one
did you
terabyte
know that?
here,
Did
too.
you know that the show actually used that pen as the prop? They were so impressed with the prop pen that they actually started using it in the show.
Nice.
Which
Yeah,
show?
this is the pen one from Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what they use
Doctor
they actually use that pen as the prop for the sonic
No.
screwdriver in the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Show
I
us the
cosplayed
pen.
as the Doctor.
Show us the pen again.
For the Comic Con I run, sometimes I have to go to other shows and do a booth for my show.
Well, that
And one of them I cosplayed as the Doctor, so I still have the screwdriver. I took it out of the DVD set. I can't even
I-
play DVDs, but it's still it's a neat toy.
Yeah, I've got that same one.
If I change the batteries, it'll even make noises.
Well, we know where the batteries are. They're in another implement.
That's true, actually.
The remote control.
Ta-da!
You dirty-minded people. What were you thinking about?
I was also thinking about a remote control for a specific device.
These are just AAAs, though. But
Touche, Sabrina. Touche. 3 shade for you on that one.
Looks like mine needs new batteries too.
I thought a sonic screwdriver was a drink. Oh, that'd be badass. Trees, if you had a screwdriver and you were going
It
to
could
make
be.
it to a sonic screwdriver, what would you add to it? I want to know that alcohol combination.
A 2-inch
Actually-
speaker.
It just means it
Uh-huh.
has to be served through that drive-in chain.
A screwdriver from Sonic. I didn't even think about that.
I'm giving you the dirtiest look right now, Purple.
Okay, according to Bright Color Mom, a sonic screwdriver is your orange juice and vanilla vodka with blue curacao and lemon lime soda.
That makes sense to me.
No, you guys
It-
got to start
it's-
with a screwdriver, just the orange juice and vodka, and then add something into that. just to
That
make it
is what Amber just
right. But in the
reiterated.
chat, they're talking about tarantula, tequila, and pop rocks. No, that's unless you're adding both of those things, that might be interesting.
My understanding is, someone could correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so long since I've been into mixology, but my understanding is that for a lot of things, the nomenclature for drinks actually, like, it's pretty robust and specific.
Come
So screwdriver, like any modification of screwdriver, always has the base screwdriver. Different power tools are like orange juice with different liquors kind of thing. Oh God,
Hell
I
yeah.
cannot remember. I guess no one else.
I
no
love
one
power
here.
tools. Talk to me, Sabrina. I love power tools.
Okay, I'm
I want to
traumatized
make a
now by
tool
the
joke,
thought of
but
somebody juicing a hedgehog into a glass of orange juice.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh my god. What? How did we get there?
Hedgehog, because
Purple.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, I know, but juicing the hedgehog? Come on. I think it would turn into more like a tequila sunrise than a screwdriver, wouldn't it, with the blood layer? Oh, sorry.
I mean, you drain the blood
Blame
first.
Doorknob Head. He's the one who brought up the hedgehog.
Well, it's usually doorknob heads.
You would
anyways.
you would exsanguinate the hedgehog first. After killing it, you'd exsanguinate it. I don't know if you'd want to remove the bones or not separately. They might add some texture, but you blend it until it's completely liquid again after having removed all the blood, and I don't know, nice texture there.
Well,
I don't know
if
why
you
I'm thinking
kill
so
it,
hard
though,
about
you only
this.
get one fresh drink,
I don't
though.
know either, but I'm really concerned about you right now, Sabrina. I'm actually
If
dialing
you keep it
911.
alive, you might be able to get like half a dozen drinks out of it instead of just one.
Aunt Jer, the word for USB charged implements, I believe, is teledildonics.
She
I will
was
deny
and she
ever knowing
kind of
that in the
is.
future.
Somewhere.
Yeah, Maya is hopefully working on tonight's show so that it's posted before my show starts so that I can redirect to it.
There you go, trees. That's how we do it, us nature lovers. Just get drunk with the hedgehog.
Well,
Fuck
yeah,
it.
so,
Get the hedgehog
well,
drunk too.
well, we'll start with some sex on the beach and follow it up with some hanky panky and finish off the duck fart.
Can I just start with Jägermeister and skip everything
Wow.
else?
Okay, this
Can I
this
just have my
reminds me of
coffee with some Irish cream?
Oh,
Thanks.
Yes.
Speaking of coffee, I was gonna reference a joke I had seen before. Someone, two people, they're at a coffee place, and one person orders a French coffee, and then the other's like, "What the heck makes it French? Isn't it just a regular coffee?"
No.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, it is just a regular coffee, but that's not what makes it French." And then the next panel, because this is a comic, the next panel, the barista drinks the coffee and then French kisses the person who ordered it. A French coffee.
That's what made it a French coffee.
Yep.
I ordered a French coffee. Get a kiss from the. I hope she's hot. Ew, you don't even know her. Has she brushed her teeth lately? Where's her mouth been? No, I'm good.
Probably on her face the whole time.
This is why I have trouble with one night stands. I look at him and go, I don't know. Have you had a penis in your mouth lately?
Jason
I
Jacoby.
hate the idea of one night stands. Like, if you're gonna get nightstands, you should always get a pair.
Jason
Absolutely.
Jacoby,
Don't leave
me.
that one out in the cold alone. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jenny.
2 night stands.
Jason
Otherwise,
Jacoby.
otherwise the balance of like your furniture is not gonna work. Like,
Go,
we're
Jenny,
talking
go
about the
ahead.
same thing.
Listen,
No,
someone's
I'm not
cat
gonna-
is
I'm
very
just gonna
upset,
listen
and that
from
needs
now
to
on.
be addressed.
Okay, you guys ran over Jenny. That wasn't nice.
Sorry, Jenny, go ahead.
Only about 7 times, but hey, who's counting?
Well, they ran over me once, so I ignored it for a bit. But
No, I counted 7 times. I'm not kidding.
I believe you. I don't know, but I do believe you.
I believe you.
House wine is Jägermeister. Ugh. I got drunk one time on that shit, and I was with a woman I was absolutely 100% in love with, and I had no interest in any other woman, didn't look at any other woman. I was at a party. They got me drunk. I went in and crashed, like airplane dove onto the couch face down. Next thing I know, I'm face up, and there's 2 women taking my clothes off. And for a split second, I was like, hell yeah. And then I went, oh, no, you can't do this. So I jumped up and like pulled my pants up, pulled my shirt down, went, that is not okay. We cannot do that. I am in love with somebody. You cannot do that. Just like stop. So Yeah, it was an interesting night.
Yeah,
Looking
I
back, I
also,
should have just let it happen.
I
That'll never
question
happen
the people
again.
who would, just do that with somebody who's passed out drunk.
I think they were trying to wake me up doing that. Not like a you're passed out, we're going to take advantage of you thing. I.e., one of them I used to have a thing with, and for like a year and a half, we fucked on the side. So it's not far fetched for her to do something like that, because we had that intimate understanding. We knew what was not okay and what was okay for each other, kind of thing.
But still,
So
if the,
she knew if she tried to wake me up like that, normally I'd be like, thanks, But yeah, they just really, what pissed me off about it was they knew about my girl, and like I had talked to her on the phone in front of them, put it on speaker.
Okay,
they all said hi.
That's not right.
I never spoke to them again not because of what they did to me, because I know it was just they were just drunk and trying to have sex with me, because some people do want to, but they disrespected her, and that's what pissed me off. I was like, you know what, you're done.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is a pick.
Yeah,
You're kicked out of the game. I have not spoke to her since. I will not. I would never speak to her again. And that was in 2007.
Athena, what are you up to? Oh, sorry.
But no, I mean that's
Sex or not?
if you know you're disrespecting somebody and doing something like that while you're doing it. I mean, I don't care how drunk you are. Even if it's for a couple seconds, like when I woke up, I was like, cool, And I told Jen about that recently, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because we're still friends. I said, did you know blah, 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 that this happened? She goes, I knew something happened. And I was like, why? And she said, you were like so weird about the whole thing. And you kept, apologizing to me because that you were over there with them. And I was like, babe, what do you apologize? It's fine. Be drunk. I don't care. Be drunk with your friends. But that's not what I was apologizing to her for when I was drunk. She just didn't know it because I was so drunk she didn't get the message right. So now we laugh about it. So it's funny now. But
any encounter that does not have prior consent or current consent is called a nasty 4-letter word.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
yes, it is. Do you know how many times that happened to me before my ex-husband said to me, no, that's not your fault. That's that R word. And I was like, no, it isn't, because blah, 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 blah. No, you're wrong. Oh, well, I asked for, no, that's bullshit. That's the way we were raised. That's not true. And he got it through. It took him a good solid 40 minutes of arguing with me about it for the light to come on. And I was like, oh my God, I've been raped 8 times. That kind of light came on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, ain't gonna tell me. Hell, 4 of them were in the army with me in my unit. One of them was my first sergeant. But when your brothers raise you to think you're a piece of shit and you don't deserve anything, I literally put it like this today to Kyle. It was one of those, this is all I deserve anyways. How's that for you? It's me. I don't. This is just gonna have to be good enough. This is the best I'm gonna get.
Outside forces.
No, it wasn't depression. They literally brainwashed me into thinking I did not deserve people to be nice to me. I did not deserve to be heard. I did not deserve to thrive. I didn't deserve anything. I was just a piece of shit. Literally despised myself, and I didn't even know why. So I just thought it was oh, this is it. This is my life. This is the best I can do. So when I tell people I don't speak to those 2 brothers anymore, now you know why. They fucked me up. Anyways, enough of that depressing shit. Whole point of that is protect your mental health. And if you know someone else that's going through some shit, be their fucking strength, because sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you just don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions are leading the 49ers 14-7 in the second quarter.
It sounds like sports balls talk.
Did
Mhm,
you
it
know,
is.
Theo, that in the military in the United States, you are not responsible for what you do for the first 3 seconds when you wake up? You have 3
Really?
seconds.
You
You
got
have 3
3 seconds
seconds.
to shoot your commanding officer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Shit. I thought you were a Russian. But no, literally, if it happens in the first 3 seconds when you wake up, they do not hold you responsible for it because you don't know what you're doing yet because you're not cognitive, you're not awake. So they give you 3
Oh.
seconds.
Wait,
Um,
this sounds like correct me if I'm wrong. Like this sounds like a good policy.
It is a good policy.
Okay.
Mm.
I'll be
Because
right
I
back.
want to
now
make
you
sure I
think
was
about it.
gathering it.
Think about it like
correctly.
this: you're in the military, surrounded by a lot of people with what? PTSD. Do you want to like? What if you touch their leg to wake them up and they shoot you because they're still a nom in their sleep?
Mhm.
Mm.
Now you
I-
can't. You don't want to put them away for that. That's not really their fault.
Yeah, I
I
had
think it
an
was because of PTSD that the military came up with that. That's what I.
I had an incident with my cat like that where she tried climbing up on me, and I was I was starting to wake up from while she was getting on me, and I ended up throwing her across the room. I didn't even realize it was the cat. I was like, oh, I apologized, and gave her cuddles and treats and anything afterwards, but it's like no, didn't realize it was her though.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Mark, actually, I am fucking awesome and I know it. So it's cool because I learned that recently that all of that was bullshit. And I don't need to blame myself for anything, and I don't need to beat my ass. So I've done that enough. I have punished myself. I punished myself until I was over 50 years old. So I started punishing myself around the time I was probably like 5 or 6 when I was cognitive enough to think I'm a piece of shit. Because that's what they were telling me already. Because they've been telling me since I was, I think, 3, that I couldn't do anything and I was a piece of shit. Basically, it's what it all came down to. In my brain, that's what it translated into.
So
That's what the medicine broke down into.
as someone who works in public schools or who has, how does that rule apply to teachers?
I'm sorry.
If the students wake you up, do you have 3 seconds?
No. I shouldn't be woken up.
Touche.
I mean, with some of
Yeah.
them,
So no. Somebody woke up my brother when he was in the Navy, and he punched him, and they tried to get him in trouble, and they were like, "Was he like asleep?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, dude, he was snoring." But he's 5 minutes late for his duty, and my brother rolled over and just punched him because somebody grabbed his shoulder. And he was like, dude, you can't do that. Touch my toe and stay away. And so he didn't get in trouble for it.
I used to keep a knife under my pillow because my roommate I trusted, but some of the people that he would bring home with him I did not trust, and with good reason. And my roommate almost got decapitated one day when he tried to wake me up and not do that.
So
sometimes it's bad.
Problem with what you just said there, Ember, is you said you roommate whom you trusted, but they brought people home whom you didn't. In my opinion, I don't know if maybe this is opinion, but in my opinion, that alone is reason enough not to trust the roommate. It's like, okay, if I can't trust you to hold good company or bring trustworthy company home, I'm not trusting you either. Then,
as it turned out, that was very true. I had to go away for a couple of weeks, and I came back, and I had a Foot Locker with a bunch of memorabilia from my childhood in it, and also my coin collection. And while I was gone, some bitch broke into it to get the coin collections to use for money for cigarettes, and he destroyed so much shit while he was rifling through it.
Oh,
I was not happy.
Dude, I would have beat a motherfucker's ass. Invade my privacy like that.
People can suck sometimes.
A good thing to do, but Ember does need some help on something. He needs to figure out how to wear hats over his earphones.
She or they, if you please, but it doesn't.
She, sorry.
It doesn't work because My head is too big. Like,
No, the headphones are way bigger than your head, though.
yeah, it's just that, like I have to get the biggest hats available and they barely fit. I can't put them
Oh,
over my
okay.
headphones. It's like I'll one of my
Ooh,
other hats that I
we
have
should
handy,
get
and it
we should get Ember into
it just doesn't go.
beanies,
Toques.
big
Ooh,
fluffy
I have
balls
one
on
of
top
those.
that are cute.
Toques.
Where'd I put
The
it?
correct, the correct word. Yes, toques.
Toques, okay.
Yeah, that's the Canadian word for the knit hat. Knit hat.
TOUQUE.
Yep.
Or since she's a tram streamer, we need to get her cat ear headphones.
No.
Ooh,
That's actually
the
why I
like
got the
pink
cat
ones.
hat.
Yeah, the pink ones that are. No, Amber, what's your favorite color? Like blue,
Purple, of
purple,
course.
pink. What do you want? Purple.
Yeah, purple is the best color.
We'll have
That's
to do a little
actually-
fundraiser for that.
There's a lot of things that go into that. When I was in elementary school, there were red chairs and there were blue chairs, and I could not decide which one was my favorite. So finally, I just said purple.
Hey, the color that seemed to define
Purple
a lot
is a
of
good
my
color.
color that seemed to define a lot of my experience in elementary school was a certain green you found on the handles of scissors.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, you
I
talking about the
getcha.
brighter green or the more foresty green?
No, I get what Porpoise is saying.
Because
the
I
green
don't
ones
think
marked left-handed scissors.
Ah. Oh. The green. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Huh?
Look at the tree said, and put in a litter box to piss off Joe Rogan.
Naturally. I
course.
have earbuds so that I can just wear regular hats, but the cord isn't long enough. I can't quite reach. So I've got a cord extender coming on Monday or Tuesday.
well, there are some hat types where you can actually have the earbuds back, like the fascinator hats from the 20s that clip on. You can usually wear those without affecting.
I had some earbuds, but I had to get rid of them because come springtime they grew into full size ears.
Look, Ember, my chat's got your back.
Her.
Hell yeah,
Oh.
hell yeah.
Come on, that was kind of funny.
No,
I chuckle.
Hey,
You know,
you
it's
got-
less
you gotta
insulting
laugh
when it's
out of
from
me,
another
Jenny.
trans person. I feel like it's not as insulting. You're like, oh, you just oopsed. You know what I
'cause
mean?
you know they're not
It's getting
deliberately
used to it.
trying to upset
It's
you,
just
you know?
it's switching that, clicking that switch in your brain to change the pronouns. Yeah, it takes a minute. It gets me frequently.
I mean, this.
You can always go with the beanie.
Speaking on that, I need
That's what I
that.
mean. The slouchy beanies. Yes, that would be so cute.
That's going on.
But
my
they
wish
have
list
ones like
right
that
now.
that are thicker too, and they have the pom pom on them.
Yeah, I'll give you.
I bet
I'll
you
put
can
the
get
link in the
cat
private
ears
chat.
and all kinds of shit.
How much are those? From where? Amazon.
Amazon.
$13.
This is the link.
13 USD. it looks
And
like.
what's its official name
Oh,
there?
there's
It's
Thank-
cotton beanie, baggy hat, slouchy skull beanie for men, women.
Okay.
There's the link
Yeah,
in the. There's the link in the
Amazon.
private chat.
Amazon descriptions.
The company's
are
name is
messy.
Yishao, Jenny. It's show.
I'm not going to
Yishao.
remember that shit.
Okay.
Oh, they have.
I just
a-
want
they
I
have-
just
they have a
want to
pride
wear
flag
younger
one,
clothes
too.
so that I can attract somebody in their 20s to me. You know.
Okay, I would like to apologize to Ember for getting her pronouns wrong. And I just talked over Jenny. I'm sorry. I promise I will unblock J.K. Rowling as penance and read her feed later.
Oh
No,
no!
don't
you
do that to
you don't
yourself.
have to. No.
That's too much. That's too much penance.
Here, I sent you, Jenny. I sent you the link to that beanie if you want it.
I'm not even that
No.
sick, so sorry.
Twitter.
Hey,
I-
see, Mage, that was very nice. Thank you.
I put that right on my wish list. Hell yes.
By the way, Ember.
Cute.
So this is my first time being on a stream with you and seeing you use these sets of pronouns. How long have you been seeing yourself this way?
Since around age 3-ish.
Ah, you knew the question. Perfect. I love it.
No, I haven't had. It's never been an option to even consider. So I've just been
Yeah.
like doing
Yep.
my best as non-binary and looking mask, and
Yep.
then things changed, and now I'm not sure how far I can go because insurance is an issue, of course, but I'm gonna fucking try.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, that basically puts you where I was 2 years ago.
I mean,
Well, you know, Ember, there are places like Folks that you can pay a membership. I think it's like $40 for the year or something like that. And you talk to, like, you video chat with someone. You have to be in like your own space, and you actually talk to them, and they are medical providers, PAs, NPs, whatever. And if they are licensed in your state, which they're licensed in like 40 of them now, or 35 or something, you can get hormones and stuff through them.
Well, you got plenty of people here who can give you advice. So,
And it's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it starts out, it's like 100 and something a month. And then it goes, once you're on a maintain level and they figure it out, however many months that takes. Then once you get to that maintain level, it goes down to like $90 a month.
I
And
also
that's
the problem
including
is,
the
like,
visits. That's including the visits and everything. It covers everything. You have questions, whatever. They give you like one or two visits a month.
Yeah, it's my backup plan if insurance doesn't cover certain things. There's other ways to do things, but the price scale varies. One of the big
Yeah.
holdups is blood work stuff, because every step of the way you have to get your blood work to make sure everything
Yes.
copacetic. And
Oh, yes, I know.
Mhm.
wait. So do
I
you
do blood
guys
work
have to-
every 3 months still.
Do you still have to pay for blood work too?
Yes.
Depends.
Are you
It
not in the
depends
United
on the
States?
I'm in
insurance that you
Canada.
have.
I'm in Canada.
Yes, we pay for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Usually
copay.
much higher
Copays,
than it needs to be.
copays. $40, $50, $60, $80.
Yeah,
if you get a Tylenol in the hospital, you're paying like $30 for that thing.
If you have
They're only
state
$10 here.
insurance, if you get state insurance, it's $5 or $10 depending on whether it's a prescription or a visit or what kind of visit it is. It's
No.
usually $5 or $10.
Bullshit.
The sad-
Or you
Yeah,
can
people have no
or
money.
you-
Absolute horseshit.
Or you
Um,
can go to Planned Parenthood if
Well-
they still have one in your state, and they can provide you with HRT.
yeah,
There
we
you
can't
go,
do that
Tree-
here anymore.
Trees. You be you.
Which reminds me, I may be losing insurance here in a little bit because
What?
the COVID thing
Why?
is finally expiring. Where you didn't have, I had like the state thing. Now I'm making too much
Oh.
money, but it's expiring like well after the Affordable Care Act enrollment ends. And usually the company I work for does offer health insurance, but they like its enrollment period is during August and July when I'm not working, which they should know.
Jesus.
Lasted in enrollment periods.
Be quiet.
Ooh, no.
No, don't
no,
tell the cat to quiet. We want to hear them.
You would think a temp agency that's hiring substitute teachers would know.
Come here.
And maybe that's why that's when it is, because they don't want to offer it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that they can technically say they offer it to all their employees without having to pay for it for most of them.
Yep. Yeah, this is insurance is a scam. This is all by well, not a scam. Sorry, this is all by design. Insurance is just greed. I hate now. In spite of the fact that I say I live here in Canada where we don't have to pay for our healthcare, that's not even close to completely true. There's a lot of our healthcare that we still have to pay for. One thing is pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical is better here because the price of drugs is a lot lower, but it is still something that has to be paid for, and so there's a lot of private insurance going on when it comes to this. And I, as a pharmacy assistant, obviously have people have private insurance, and I bill to their private insurance. The amount of bullshit that private insurance companies or just insurance companies come up with. And the reason I changed myself from private insurance to insurance is because even the public insurance, even the government covered insurance has some level of bullshit. There's upsides to the government insurance though here. But there's downsides as well. Anyway, I'm not going to start ranting on this too much because I'm just going to lose a lot of people. But let's just say, fuck insurance.
Ember, you may
Sorry,
have,
I'm high and I was like really into petting my cat.
Hey, that's fine, Beck. That's a perfectly in fact, that's the expected action.
Ember,
Whether
you,
it's not, I should say.
depending on where you live, there may be a gender clinic that can help. We have one in Indianapolis, which is not that close to where I live.
Oh, you know what else? Folks gives away so much free hormones every year, and you can go on their website and like put in that, you know, like an entry into the contest kind of thing, and then they give it away to so many people. I think they do like 1,000 every year or something like that.
Looks
Yeah.
like
Apparently it's
Planned
cleaning time.
Planned Parenthood is the nearest gender
Pause,
anything
bro.
near me. But we do have one near me, so you know.
Well, we used to have one in town.
Oh,
It got replaced by a crisis pregnancy center.
well, at least it didn't turn into a Starbucks.
A Starbucks would have been preferable because at least trans people could get
Oh,
Starbucks is
Get
a
caught.
man.
reverse.
Oh boy. I mean, that's true.
Ouch. Good point. I didn't know it was that severe.
The amount of queer people I meet working at Starbucks is like unusually high. In fact,
It's true.
One of, though he's not a barista at our Starbucks anymore, but like at the Starbucks close to my place, I ended up becoming friendly with pretty much all the baristas there. But like the one that I was closest with, who I got to know before I came out. After I came out as trans, he's like, "Yeah, I'm trans too." I'm like, "What? What?"
Trans bucks at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that a lot of you apparently look very much like a very patient Tabby. Or not Tabby, Torty.
Later, Carrie Ann.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
I forget
Carrie.
Starbucks exists.
Isn't it?
No, hold on. Scandal about what their cups are doing? I don't know. Please.
Yeah, people freak out about their cups because they look too religious or something. I don't know, or not
No,
religious
they-
enough, or
They don't
Right-wingers
say happy.
freaked out
They don't say Merry
because-
Christmas.
Yeah, a few years ago, the cups said Merry Christmas, and they took that off the cups.
oh, that's
Well,
right. They
that
just put a
started the war
design
on
on them this
Christmas.
year.
No, it
Yeah.
all started when
Yeah.
they changed from Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays. And
Oh.
that just exploded their brains.
Right. Okay, you're right. That was
Yep.
first. Yes, and then this last Christmas they didn't put anything on the cups because nobody's fucking happy. So then they
All
were
right,
mad that
we
there
won
was
the war
nothing
on
on the cups
Christmas.
too. The fuck? We all like getting together with family and having fucking opening presents and eating food. It doesn't have to be about fucking religion. It's about family time for a lot of us. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah,
have a
secular
war on
Christmas is
It's
awesome.
stupid.
Merry
love the
Giftmas.
lights. My housemates love decorating Christmas trees, and it's all wonderful.
The
Well,
cat
you
Oh,
know,
my
if it wasn't
fucking-
for
my
HRT, all you would have is Sismas.
My boss is I forgot to tell you guys this. She's really religious, and she like I think twice since I've been there, maybe 3 times now. I've been there for 3 months now. She has like said some Bible verse and talked about something during the morning meeting. And the last time she did it, I like walked into the break room, which is like right next to where she's standing. The doorway's like 2 feet away from her, right? And I just walked in the break room, made a cup of coffee, and somebody else was sitting in there. And I was like, God, shit. And they were like, yeah. You know, like who wants to hear that crap, man? I know she's
Cartoon
trying to be
boobies.
inspirational, and to her, it's like a good thing, but you're not thinking about other people very well, which is really weird because she's like an overly considerate, kind person. She tries to give people tasks that align with what they like to do and stuff like that. Like she's a really good boss. The only thing like she brings in, oh, I had a dinner party over the weekend. I brought in all the leftovers here, and she like feeds all of us. She does that all the time. Or I cooked up some stuff, and hey, Beck, this one right here, this little one, it's vegetarian for you. I made sure there was no meat stuff in it. Like literally that sweet. She's a sweetheart.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
that religious side.
I
And
want
it
to
only
be
comes out
ignorant,
here and there.
honestly.
Well, and
Do
people
that again,
who have
Ember.
grown up with it all their lives, you know,
I
they
missed it.
just
Do it again.
I changed my OBS window, and it's a new clip I just added today, so it just happened to be turned on. It's Eric
Aw.
Hovind.
I want to be ignorant, honestly.
Who was that?
Good, you are some
Eric
preacher.
Hovind.
Hovind.
at least he's succeeding at one of his goals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey,
I don't even know people's names. I'm like, they're just some preachers to me. Fuck them.
I give Eric
Yeah,
Hovind.
you
I've
should
got
put that
got
on
a
a
little
loop.
collection.
Ember, put that on about a 5-minute loop.
Oh, and set it to dance music. I want to be ignorant. Honest.
We'll send it out to TikTok. We'll send it out to Twitter.
Hell yeah. Hell
Freaking
yeah.
everywhere.
You know, I really hate that.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
Sorry, this snuck up on me.
But I think we should give Eric Hovind credit for being a better criminal by taking over his father's criminal enterprise and making it legal.
Okay, well, that would be then there's that one. Yeah, that's definitely would be different. Like maybe like safe and I don't know. Yeah, do paperwork right and not try to bring in young people because you're trying to pollute their minds.
Make sure your taxes conform with what the law expects.
It can help. No structuring. Oh, goodness.
Kinda.
Kyle's here.
Kyle.
Greetings.
Kyle, I love you.
How are you?
Hello.
I know.
I'm great. I'm really stoned, so I figured I'd come on here and chill y'all.
You're a
breaking
little
up, Kyle.
you got a little internet issue there. If you're not on Wi-Fi or R, you might want to switch something there.
Okay.
Did you know I got my crickets from Kyle?
Yes, I did know that. I was there for that.
Are those real crickets?
It was the cricket
Mhm.
incident of 2023. They're real crickets.
Cool. I love having real crickets in the house.
Hell yeah.
Crickets are
I
great.
remember we
God, I
got
used to
some
sleep so good to them.
remember we got some crickets and we let them loose in the house and well the cat had a fun time.
Oh no.
Is that any better?
Yes, considerably.
You sound absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Sweet.
I mean, Kyle always sounds wonderful, but I know what you're getting at here.
Oh, stop it.
That's not true. Kyle has bad days like everybody else, but for the most part, yes.
That's true. Yeah. I wish I had like space stuff. I think the best I've got is my space turtle.
Space turtle. Ooh, I forgot I
Aw,
can actually
that's
put
so
pictures up here. Hold on.
cute.
That is cute.
It looks just
Cool.
like Mitch McConnell.
Kenny.
On a good day. Don't you insult the turtle like that.
No, don't be so mean to the turtle. Come on.
That's what everybody,
Turtle-
me, Purple
I like
Sabrina,
turtles.
defending the
I like
turtle.
turtles.
Or turtle.
He looks
Turtle.
more,
How dare
actually,
you
he looks
compare
more
them to
like
Mitch McConnell.
he looks more like a 200-year-old just about to die sea turtle. That's what he looks like. Or 500-year-old or whatever they are.
No, technically that's a terrapin.
Oh, I'm
Hey.
sorry, terrapins. Thank you.
Let's not pick on Mitch McConnell either. He's doing very well for a 6,000-year-old man in his position.
Oh my.
He stands up just fine at that podium,
He
even
remembers
when he has a stroke.
He remembers when your
stands at that-
1,000-year-old egg was brand new.
He remembers when
Yeah,
Dirt
he's-
was born.
Oh, fuck.
But does he remember what it was like to have sex?
The funny thing is the
Well, a better question
Republicans
is, does he
picking on
remember at all?
Biden. The Republicans picking on Biden, saying that Biden's too old and he's got dementia and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, Biden's body is just giving out. That's different. It's different than your brain giving out. Trump's brain gave out a long time ago.
Trump never
Long
had a
fucking
functioning
time.
brain.
Well, I'm not gonna. I think
Jesus.
first of all, they're both in their 70s,
Well,
So am
one's
I.
78 and one's 80, I think now.
and secondly, I don't think either of them had dementia. I think the whole Biden has dementia thing is just retaliation for people bringing it up against Trump. I think
Yeah.
Trump's
Yeah.
behavior is better explained by malignant narcissism.
It
A
is.
lot of-
I agree with both of those statements.
And a lot of Biden's
Um,
problems are explained by, sorry, Jenny, let me finish, by him having a stutter, is what I think they're misinterpreting.
Thank you. I was going to say that exact thing. You can tell this
Yep.
is how I know it's a stutter, because when he did that last speech and he was talking about what Trump is doing and what he could do to America and stuff. And he was saying, praising these fucking communist crazy fuckers and stuff. When he was giving that speech and he was just saying it off the top of his head, not one stutter. It was like the perfect part. And then he'd look back at the teleprompter and he'd get a little wonky again. When he's speaking it's when he's reading his stutter gets to him. I
So
swear to God, that's what it is.
What kind of stutter gets you to start talking about your leg hair out of nowhere?
Jenny was
Yeah,
trying to say
no,
something.
that's not a stutter. That's just stupid Trump. He's
No, that was Biden.
right. Huh?
Jenny
That
was
was
trying,
Biden. He started talking about his leg hair out of nowhere during a speech.
Jenny was trying to say something.
Talking about his what out of nowhere?
Leg
Leg
hair.
hair.
Well, that's a concern sometimes. Gets caught in
Marty.
a little elastic of the sock. It can be a little painful. Oh, maybe he's gotten old enough where it's all falling off.
But which one of them looks
Maybe.
better in programming socks?
Oh, don't make me think about that. Oh.
I don't think Trump
Why?
looks good in
Why?
anything. So I would go for Biden. At least he's in pretty
He
good
looks
physical shape.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
In a prison jumpsuit.
Yeah, I think orange is Trump's color.
Yeah.
Oh, it is
It
his color.
literally
Oh,
is.
yeah. Do you guys think he'll up his makeup game once he gets the orange suit? Because then it'll make him look pale. Do you think he's going to up his?
He will
his
not be
makeup game?
allowed to have that stuff in prison.
Yeah, but
It's Trump. He'll find
you
a
do
way.
realize that the rules for people in prison are different for rich people, so he probably would.
well,
Ouch.
There is some
Excuse
question
my
whether-
cynicism, but like,
Mark.
Mark.
He won't be having any more of those $75,000 haircuts.
one of the
he doesn't have
things I
one of
really
those.
loved about watching one of the things I really loved about watching shows like Lock Up on MSNBC is seeing all the stuff they would do to make up for their lack. Like the female prisoners would use M&Ms for makeup.
Oh,
Oh, all kinds of things. Yeah.
neat.
Because being a criminal doesn't mean you're stupid.
Yeah, no, you could. There's all kinds of things they use, and it's funny because Orange is the New Black was a good example of them using different things that were in the prison to do things with, like their hair or whatever, makeup, stuff like that. But also, what's it called? It's a British version of Orange is the New Black. Starts with a W, I think. West
Wentworth.
something? No. Wentworth, that's it. Thank you. Wentworth is great and like a really good example of what people will use in a prison to get by when they don't have other things. I find it very interesting.
They're really good at improvised weaponry too.
Oh god.
Maybe he'll move into a prison he owns, right?
I saw
That's
a
what he'll do.
Mythbusters episode where they actually made a prison crossbow.
Oh no! I want him to
Yeah.
move into a prison he privatized.
Yes, me too. I
There you
want it to
go.
be a state prison. He'll suffer. Because
And
if it's
Georgia-
privatized, that means that somebody that owns it is probably going to be a Republican that's going to be on his side.
Oh, for
Or
sure.
he'll be able to bribe them or some crazy shit.
Mhm.
Well, I have a feeling New York is not going to be on his side for any of the criminal charges there.
They
And
are
he can't pardon himself for a state.
They
Georgia
didn't
is
vote
not.
for him last time.
Georgia is not happy with him.
Oh god, no.
Well, see, the way I see it is once and I think he's going to, once he gets prosecuted in Georgia, he can't run there anymore. So he just lost Georgia. So all we need
He's
is for
already
him to
lost
lose a
2
couple.
states, right? Like
Well-
there's already 2. No.
Well, now they're working on
more.
3. There's Colorado and Maine. What's the 4th one? I can't remember.
I thought there was more than that.
The problem
like
is
one
that's
plot
before,
is.
20 states
New
are
Hampshire.
considering it.
Porpoise? Yeah.
it's before the Supreme Court.
Oh right. I forgot about that.
But if Georgia takes him off because he's convicted, the federal government can do nothing about that because that's
So all we need is for the other states to accept the Georgia ruling, basically, and to kick him off the ballot, which is what is starting to happen.
Well, the 14th Amendment is pretty clear. If you engage in open insurrection against the United States,
Aid and bet, or provide comfort for people who do so.
Which
and
he's
he
still
includes
doing
that?
to this day. He calls them
Hold-
hostages.
Hold on a second. What was that second bit? Or provide comfort? Provide comfort.
Yeah,
Aid
was
and comfort.
Or something along
Aid
those
and
lines.
comfort. Oh,
Let me-
okay.
let
Then
me
yeah,
see if I
easily. Here's the thing. If it was just the first clause, I'd be like, yes, he did. But I can see how people could argue against it, like the whole implausible deniability. But with that second part of the clause, I'm like, oh yeah, no, then easily he's done. He's fucking done. Like legally speaking, there is no wiggle room aside from
Well,
just
no,
people
because he can't
deciding
keep his
not to.
yeah,
Sorry.
because he can't keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
So
Well-
he just keeps saying it over and over again how they're hostages and they're good people. And no, that's literally
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Yeah, he's providing aid
fluffing
and
them up
comfort
to be
in
something,
that context.
and everybody knows that he wanted to go to the damn Capitol and almost had a wrestling match with the fucking driver of the car about which direction they were going. And he was like, "No, we're not going there because it's dangerous.
Okay,
we're not
yeah,
going to put
yeah.
the president in danger."
Okay,
And he
yeah,
got pissed off because he wanted to go there and stand up and be like, "Look what I did." And if he would have let him do that, that motherfucker would have been in jail a long time ago.
Yeah, it is aid and comfort, or give aid and comfort to the enemy thereof. So yes, it is
It's kind of like aid and abet in
Yeah.
a crime, right?
well, the 14th Amendment was intended
gotta
for
go.
Confederate.
I'll catch y'all later. I gotta
Okay.
get
Have
set
a
up
good
for
night,
my-
Amber.
Sweetheart.
Bye-bye, Amber.
See you soon.
Just double check, make sure I was remembering that correctly.
The 14th Amendment is one of the few things that does not require due process because that was right after the Civil War. But it was intended for Confederates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But under that thing of aid and comfort, I want to see him charge Lorraine Boebert, because while they were trying to hide the senators, she was tweeting out their locations to the crowd. If that's not giving aid to the enemy, what is?
Yeah, that would
Boebert
count.
What
be
are
an
you
interesting
talking
one.
about? Are you kidding
She
me?
was.
No,
Yeah.
she did that. Yes.
How is she not in jail for that?
Shit.
That's
the
what I don't get.
fuck?
Why she hasn't been arrested for that yet?
That is a good
Other
question.
than that, the
It's a
Republicans
slow
keep saying it wasn't.
process.
Yeah, the Republicans
that's
just
the
keep
thing.
saying it wasn't an insurgence, though. So
No deep space station. Donald Trump is not a Confederate. He was born in New York, and he is, as much as the Southerners might hate to hear me say it, a Yankee.
but he's the son of a Klansman.
There were Northern Klansmen.
Yeah, I'm just
Al.
saying that might be why they give him some slack for that.
You guys,
Al,
do you
that was
guys?
great.
Here's a fun trivia question. Say yes if you know how the Trump family first got their money.
War profit.
Don't tell me what it is. Just if you know what the story is, say yes.
I know I heard it, but I
Nope.
can't remember offhand.
His great once time removed, second time, 2 times removed, I'm not sure. His great something grandfather did a scam on a train company and sued them for supposedly hurting him, and he never was hurt.
Ah.
And they made a shit ton of money off of it because there was no laws in place to protect the train companies back then. And that's how they made all their money at first. And then they just, after that, they bought a bunch of fucking buildings and shit and went into real estate. And they were slumlords. They wouldn't fix a fucking thing. I don't know how many times Trump's been sued over the bad properties and them trying to kick people out or not let people rent because they're black or Hispanic. I mean, so much shit. And yet these people just sit here and go, Trump! He borrowed out of his trust fund by the time he was like 21. And that's where he had all that money. He started out with like $25 million. Like way back then in what was it, the 70s or some shit. Like the motherfucker. No, in the 60s, I guess. Somewhere around there. Yeah, so the whole family's a big scam. And people in New York know it. And that's why the last time he ran, New York did not vote for him. because they hate him, and he's
You know,
from
he
there.
has still not apologized to those young men who he basically convicted them to have the death penalty for a crime that they did not commit. But he put the that big full page ad in the New York Times to say how bad these kids are and how they have to get capital punishment, and now one of them is one of the alder people in New York.
The Central
Jesus.
Park Five.
Yep.
Sure said the
Hey, guys,
Central
how you
Park
doing?
7.
7.
Is it 5 or 7?
7.
Porper's like, not sure about the 5, probably a 7. Trump has never apologized for anything. No, because he thinks he's above everything. They literally raised him. And all I think now is, how psycho is Barron going to be? Growing up around that crazy fuck.
I think
And he was in the White House and dealing with all this new shit that he wasn't quite this crazy before. Like the other kids didn't grow up with this kind of crazy. He was just a rich fucking real estate mogul to them.
Every
His
picture
motherfucker
I've ever
is
seen of
nuts.
Barron looks like he's super depressed.
He
I
does.
think-
So does Melania.
I think the first time Trump ever realized there are consequences for his actions is when he got banned from Twitter.
Except he's back on Twitter.
He's not.
Yeah,
using
because
it.
of Elon Muskrat, but
Yeah, he's back
Doesn't
on
much
Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, Al said
Elon
I doubt he's
Muskrat.
aware he even has a kid, right? No doubt.
Except when it's
You
convenient.
know what's
Yeah, except for
fun?
when it's picture
There's-
time.
There's a book called The Last President. It was written over 100 years ago. And basically, the last president who becomes a dictator, there was a riot at his property. And in the book, it's actually the address of Trump Tower. And there was a Barron Trump in that series.
I just wonder
Wow.
if they did DNA testing, how many of those kids are actually his.
Probably all of them.
I'd like to know how many kids out there are his that he's not claiming.
Oh, come on. dude.
Tons.
Yeah.
Probably all of them.
To give you
Oh,
an
how
idea
many?
how
20, 10, 50?
Do you really
Who
think
knows?
that none of his wives, went and had some fun with somebody else, rather than just having to sleep
For the
with
most
him?
part, they were actually very loyal women. That's what's fucked up about it.
Not one
They
of
were
those kids
actually
looks like him. Not one.
Eric does.
Well,
well,
Don
I mean, he
Jr.
probably doesn't
Oh,
look like how
no.
he's supposed to genetically appear anyway.
Well,
given all
that's
the-
Isn't Eric the one he keeps forgetting about? The blonde?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He looks like him. If a taller, thinner version.
And you
But
get,
he looks like him.
you get the two of them that looks like Beavis and Butthead.
But then
Don Jr.
again,
got his brains.
Eric and Donnie Jr.
Yep.
Beavis and Butthead.
yeah.
If we're going to go for that characters from that era Trump reminds me of, I'm going to go with Kevin from Daria.
No clue who
Yeah.
you're talking about.
What about King Koopa from the 1993 Super Mario Bros?
No,
I'm
because
actually
King-
going to
Well,
You were talking about that last night.
Let me pull up. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
pull
just-
it up.
Let me explain why first. King Koopa's too intelligent.
Yeah,
Oh, touche. Touche.
His hands are way too big. Too.
even that version of King Koopa is too intelligent. Yeah.
There's a reason why I went for the dumbest character in Daria.
Trump wanted to buy the International Space Station. The International Space Station.
Actually,
He wanted to buy Greenland too.
Well-
Greenland. Yeah.
Greenland, yeah.
Actually, Al,
Tell him
I
we
call
can't-
male Karens Kens. They're Karens and Kens to me.
Tell Trump
Well,
we can't sell him
actually,
the ISS,
the original.
but we can give him a real good deal on a slightly used Skylab.
The word Karen is masculine. You'll find it in the original Hebrew, Daniel chapter 7, verse 8, and 8, verse 9, and it's masculine. The feminine word
Yes, it
is karna, and you'll find that in Daniel chapter 3, verse 5, I believe.
Huh.
And it means Karen means purity, light, corner, and horn, and strength. But since it meant purity and light, people who did not realize that Hebrew was a gendered language started naming their little girls Karen. Now that
Which is actually a
Karen,
boy's name.
and it's the word we get carotene from.
The
The
modern
substance horns are made out of.
To be
modern-
clear, Beck, it's not. It wasn't that it was a boy's name. It was a masculine word. Not
Yes.
necessarily
Well,
used as
I'm
a
saying
name.
if it was gonna be a name, it would have been. It's masculine. Yes, that's what I meant.
But the modern usage of the term Karen for a particular white woman that likes to abuse underpaid staff, particularly because they're coming from a percentage of privilege, originated among the black community for a certain type of white woman.
Oh, really?
Except
I
for
mean,
the
I'm not-
hanging
You
pads,
know what? I
Jason.
shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. Pretty much all our cool words and stuff come from the black community.
I didn't know where
White
it
people
had
are just really
started
good at
fucking
from.
stealing
fact.
stuff from black people.
The
I
best
hate
music
saying that.
too.
Yeah, the best music.
I know.
The best words.
Art,
Culture in
lot of
general,
amazing
art, like-
fucking yeah.
What was the word I'm looking for?
Not just music, but like vocals, like a lot of black singers. Oh my god, I love the way their
Oh.
fucking voices sound.
The activism. Our best activism comes from the black community as well. Like for the queer community, do you know who what demographic more than any other individual queer demographic did the most work and got the most shit done? Black trans women. Black trans women. For
Yeah,
all
the
rights
the
that-
biggest minority in the fucking United States.
the biggest minority in the United States, and still not benefiting from a lot of the work that they like. A lot of the benefits that other trans people like myself get today are thanks to black trans women. Absolutely, historically they've
Yeah.
done so much, and
They
again,
have.
not just for trans people, but just for like the queer community in general.
Mhm.
It's black trans women.
And then if you have a black trans woman that's gay, you have the biggest minority. And look up the statistics on that one. They are like the smallest amount of people in the United States.
And they've done disproportionately almost the largest amount of work.
Well, they kind of have to. They don't really have a choice. I think that's what's missed in a lot of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well we're not saying that it's just by choice. It is necessity. Yeah, we know that.
It is
we're just
necessity.
lucky. Some of us are just lucky that we gained something from their hard work.
Yeah, the point of me bringing this up is more to say, like, okay, now I'm having a hard time articulating the feelings I have. It's like I don't want to. I want to constantly make sure I don't forget about them. I want to make sure that like they're remembered because I owe so much to the work that they did. Like again, though I'm in one way an underprivileged demographic, being trans, I am definitely far more privileged than a lot of people, and I have to acknowledge part of my privilege, this chunk of privilege that I have, and part of that is acknowledging the people who have done the work who aren't able to benefit as much from that.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know. I still feel like I'm not articulating what I'm trying to say, but whatever.
you're in the Midwest. I can inhale unless someone.
No, we
knows.
got you.
I can usually just blend in. Sometimes my voice gives me away, but I actually have worked on my voice a bit, but sometimes I slip back into the old voice because it's just easier. Or if I need to be heard, that deep booming voice does work very well.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, okay,
But, yeah.
I see it. I see where you're coming from.
Porpoise,
Commander.
I was just thinking, like, freak out all the kids and go like deep and loud, and they'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, they've heard me do it.
Do you really? That's awesome. Hey, use what you got, right?
Kane,
However you
what
want.
game are you playing there?
That's Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep.
I really gotta try that game out.
I
Looks
need
good.
to finish it.
You know what I've been
Ollie,
playing?
Ollie, buddy, how you been? I haven't
Skyrim.
talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you either, Ollie. How are you?
Oh, I'm surviving, I'm good.
Still up on the cannabis there, buddy?
He's busy trying to figure out how to model his morals after Shadowheart.
Good luck getting him to fucking quit smoking pot. You'd have to fucking remove his hands. Don't let him hire anybody to help him.
I just finished doing a
Train
bunch
the
of hot
dog
knives
to fucking-
before I came on the stream.
I just did a dab and my
Dog
throat
had to
is
do hot
wrecked.
knives for him.
Ollie's doing hot knives. I'm taking the huge dabs.
Why would
I am running low though, Kyle.
You're running low? Oh no, you're not. Show me.
I got to order some, right? I'm
He's,
running low.
he's down to like half a gallon.
I
Hold
only got
on.
that much left.
Oh, you are kind of low.
So
I'd like to make a mention of something.
I'm going to take this off.
At halftime, Detroit 24, San Francisco 7. See, this is an exciting game because Detroit has never been to the Super Bowl, and they have been busting their ass for 40 years to just fucking win a title. And they're finally there, and their citizens are just going crazy, and so they deserve it.
Let's ask the important question now. What year did The Simpsons predict that Detroit would win the Super Bowl?
1989.
All you need to do is like look up that episode of The Simpsons where Homer worked for the Bond villain, because it was the year after that. Because the Bond
Jason.
villain gave Homer the Detroit Lions, and after the year after that, they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be not in the future, though. I think that was supposed to be.
It was a joke because they sucked balls. They were the worst team in the year that they made that video.
But they
then
actually
they went on to.
They actually did get the year the Cubs would win the World Series right.
Yes, I do remember somebody saying they got that one right.
But it was like the year after that episode aired that the Detroit Lions won the Super Bowl.
They also predicted Trump would win
in 2016.
Yep.
But that was supposed to be.
Sorry?
That was supposed to be a throwaway joke because no one, in their right mind, they thought, would vote for Trump.
And they were like, motherfuckers, we were right again. You know what I think? I think if they didn't write that, that would not have happened. I am blaming them.
No.
And what if Trump got the idea from that? Or like, you know.
It was
No, he didn't. Here's the thing about the writing of that joke is there was precedence to it. Like, I think I can't remember the exacts. Like, either he made a throwaway joke about it, or he's talked about like when to get into politics at the time, like way back, and then they made a joke about him becoming the president. The other thing is though, say what you will about The Simpsons, but like the creators do make a point of being pretty intelligent, at least about some of their jokes.
No, they really have to be intelligent to write what they write. That's crazy.
I mean, on a slightly different note, there is for people who are math nerds, there is so much shit in The Simpsons and Futurama and whatnot for people who like hidden math jokes, because
Rick and Morty,
who write the stuff, love math as well. Anyway, on to
Listen.
point.
Just because there's a scene where Homer goes into the third dimension and you see P equals NP float across the screen, and Futurama is even worse because there's so many computer science jokes scattered throughout the series. My favorite being 10 sin, 20 go to hell. For the Robotology episode. Because one of the writers actually was a computer science professor at Harvard.
Yes. And I lost my train of thought.
happens to me daily.
Since
And
we
what
got
are the
some
members-
math nerds in here? Can you explain to me? There was some trans meme about 2.718.
What? Hold on. I don't think that's quite right. What's that number? Sounds like Euler's number.
Okay, it's just it was just a meme, and it didn't give any reference to what that number represents.
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I think I was going to say the same thing as you, so you may as well go ahead because you know more about this.
I don't know if I know more. I'm not a math major. 2.718 is an irrational number that represents the base for the natural logarithm.
Okay, so it is E. Okay, that's what I thought.
Hmm.
I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a math major either. I'm just
Cool.
I'm
Let's
okay
move off
with
of math.
stuff.
Math is the one reason I decided not to go to college.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was exempt from algebra 2 because I just could not do it.
I was going to say, their
Because
college...
they teach math bad in public school. They teach math
Yes,
really
they do.
poorly.
Well, here's the thing.
If,
Here's
if
the
it
thing.
wasn't for that, like, because math is in so much, is in pretty much everything. And if people are like, you're bad, like say that they're bad at math or they hate math, and it's like you can't hate math. It's a facet of literally everything we do. It just means someone's giving you the wrong idea of what math is and doing a really bad job of teaching it to you, which is pretty much most public school, unfortunately.
No, that's dead on because I was actually expelled from school for a myriad of reasons. Partially in my grades, I had like 12 credits as a senior. They let me go, but I was able to finish online, and in 4 months I made up 30 credits.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
They were teaching me the wrong way. You give me the material, let me teach myself in the way I understand, and I fly through the courses.
Well,
But I was never able to do it with math.
Well, it would be a lot easier if we could just go metric already, so they don't have to spend 3 years teaching you fractions.
You
No
still
kidding.
use fractions in higher math.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
Well, in higher math, we not be even working with numbers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that as great of a coach that our algebra higher math teacher was. He was a great basketball coach. I've come to the conclusion from talking to people in the last 10 years that I went to high school with. So, it's been a minute. And they were like, yeah, I went to go to college and I had to take an algebra course so I could go to college for this or that or whatever. And I realized it wasn't me. Our teacher sucked. And I heard that from a lot of people, like a lot of people.
Well, the
So I
minute
was
you
like,
mentioned
so
he
maybe
was a
it's not
sports
me?
coach, yeah.
Yeah.
When I took DE, it was basically the COVID semester. I had the worst teacher in the entire school because he would write with one hand, erase with the other, and he was so full of himself he forgot that there was a time that he did not understand this stuff. So he was teaching it as if he expected us to know it already.
That's what the
And-
problem was for me.
If I may,
What? It doesn't even make sense.
I think we should teach math the way we teach computer science. Because the way we teach math right now is time-based. They expect you to get the right answer with a certain amount of time. But the way we teach computer science, which is also math-heavy, is almost the reverse of that, where you're given time to be wrong until you can work out the right answer.
Ah.
I can never operate under a time-based system.
You still have time, but you have a lot more of it. And generally in computer science, you know the results you're supposed to get.
Well, that's the same with me. I mean, my dyslexia slows me down. So when they give me a test under a time limit, I'm probably not going to finish half of it. But if they give me enough time to take it, I can get almost all of them.
Yeah,
But
Okay.
you'd have to restructure the way this is taught. And it's not like these things aren't known. People do argue over these. We don't teach math well. How do we fix it?
Yeah.
You fix the teachers, the math is fine.
Well, we have to fix the way math is taught, is the general gist.
So what we need to do is change how the schools are teaching the teachers.
And also,
if
not
they're
every
not-
student learns the same way.
And that's the big thing. I don't think there should be one general fucking like set math thing. There's different ways to come out with the same answer in most cases. And some people learn a certain way and some people learn another way. And I think that's part of it for me is like they were just speaking French. I just didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about.
Commander does make
From
an
day
interest-
one.
Commander does make an interesting point, though, I think, and maybe it's changed since I was in high school. high schools do not teach you how you learn. It's one of the first classes you will get in college. It's like, here, we're going to try to teach you how you learn so you can focus on how you study.
Okay.
Had
Yeah,
one
why
friend
don't they
who-
teach us that in like elementary school?
I had one
Like
friend
a
who
base
taught.
version of it.
They
I had
might.
one.
Sorry, go ahead, Mage.
I had one friend who taught themselves how to do math by playing in role playing games. 'Cause you have to calculate how much damage you do to the enemy and whatnot.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Magic
Well,
is a lot of algebra.
I showed you guys that game before. I played when I was a kid, and that's why I loved basic math so much. It was my first electronic game, and it was just a fancy calculator.
But I mean,
with a small program in it to give you different, of the four basics.
But they told you it was a big program.
After going through
No, my mom gave it to me, not a guy.
After going through high school and having some bad experiences with like 2 teachers in a row, it's like I just had a mental block when it came to math and thought I couldn't do it. Then I went back later, took like some math courses at college. Still hate quantitative reasoning, but I really should have read the syllabus and knew I had homework like the first 10 days they skipped. That was my fault. But then it's like when I started to take the algebra courses to get through computer science, it's like, hey, I actually understand this because guess what programming mostly is?
Yeah, Carol, I am the same way. I tried to learn how to read music when I was in school, and everybody, you're like in what, 4th or 5th grade, and they introduce instruments to kids or whatever, which is way too late anyway. And everybody picks something, and I picked the trumpet, and I tried to learn how, and I couldn't. I could do it by ear. I could hear them playing next to me and watch their fingers and play right along with them. But I couldn't read the fucking music, so I got kicked out of music.
Really, I can't read music.
It's like one of us that only knows English trying to read like Arabic. That's what it's like to me. I have no comprehension of it. I don't get it at all.
I can read music, but I can't play by ear. I also have no musical talent, so.
Well,
I
Art
don't
Against
really.
Ignorance wants
can
to
fake it a
start up
little
a
bit.
band, and we have determined that I have all the musical talent necessary to drive the van.
What's the list, Purple?
What's that?
What's the list of
That's
things
it.
you play?
I can drive the van. I can't do anything musical.
Oh,
at
you
all.
drive the van. Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you
The
said,
band van.
I thought you said drive the band like you were
No.
going to be
The
it.
band van.
And I was like, what do you know how to do?
No,
I
I
late
can write
fiance-
songs.
My late fiance said that I improved that white people got no rhythm.
I experimented with the drums for a couple of years, and I was good enough with my hearing it that I knew what they were hitting and what they were doing. So I couldn't get anything fancy, but I could do like the bass drum line for like a Metallica song or Ozzy or AC/DC. I loved all those groups back then.
Gotta love those stuff.
But I never could read the fucking music. And the funny thing is the ex couldn't read the music either and got tablature for the guitar.
Did Canadian
Because
Allman just succeed?
Neither one
on
of
a-
us could get it.
What's that?
Allman, did you succeed on a difficulty 30 roll in Baldur's Gate?
Yes.
Impressive.
I had advantage on the roll and I actually rolled double 17, so it didn't matter. And I have the karma dice turned off, so it's completely random.
Oh,
easy
nice.
God.
So you just are a lucky bastard. Check.
What are karma
No,
dice?
normally I fail those checks. That's why I saved right in front of it. That way, if I needed to, I could go reload and try it again if I needed to.
Ollie, can you explain Karma Dice to us that have not played that game?
There is a setting right here called Karma Dice. And basically with Karma Dice is if you're rolling bad a lot of times in a row, then the Karma Dice will purposely make your dice start to roll better. And
Oh,
it
okay.
also
So
affects
it's a
you the other
backup.
way though too. If you're rolling good a lot of times in a row, it will start to make your roll worse.
Oh, okay.
For
Okay.
karma dice, right?
Yeah. So it's a balance. It's a balance. They're balanced dice.
Yeah.
It balances it out.
But the only problem with the karma dice is when it's on, it also affects all the monsters and stuff like that. And you'll find that the monsters actually start doing more damage to you with the karma dice on. So it's a bit harder to survive with the karma dice on that way. Although it's a bit easier for you to make sure you're always hitting because you're always staying in that average at the very least. And that's all you need
Okay.
to do in this game is hit average to be successful at most tasks.
Okay.
So you're
You
more
don't have to
likely
be
to
the-
hit,
the
but you're more
king.
likely to get killed.
Yes.
If you're playing,
Okay.
if you're playing Baldur's Gate, you're probably not playing for its D&D mechanics anyway. It is an awesome
This is
story.
5th edition. So the mechanics are just fair.
You know, that actually.
Yeah, I'm
like,
really.
So Ollie's obviously pretty good at the games he plays. I want to know what's everyone's like talent that they have, or what are you good at that you like doing?
Making people's eyes glaze over by talking about topics they don't care about.
I'm sorry, Porpoise. What was that?
Oh damn!
I was gonna say, that's-
You know I
that's
had
called
to
being
do it,
neurodivergent,
Your new channel is
especially
excelling
ADHD
at
and
that.
autism.
Hey, I didn't say you had to subscribe to it. I warned you. It'd probably be of no interest to you.
I have watched the videos. I will not claim I have comprehended any of them, but I have watched
I haven't
them.
comprehended it. I haven't comprehended shit, but I'll watch it when I have a chance. Yeah.
I mean,
Every
the
time I
box
get-
method is easy enough to grasp, or should be, but I don't. When are you going to multiply binomials as an adult?
I don't recall doing it much as a child either.
I mean, I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've had to multiply x plus 2, x minus 3.
Yeah, no.
No,
that
weed
has
smoking's
never happened
pretty
to me.
simple.
I'm
I-
gonna tell you right
okay.
now. I am right now. If my calculations are correct, I am right now on my 70th job, 70 job,
Well, job.
and I have yet to use that for any of it. And I've done everything from being a goddamn retail manager to fucking making donuts. I've done it all, and I did rough landscaping, and we didn't have to use that for fucking figuring out the grade.
Let me
Like
rephrase
it wasn't even that hard.
Let me rephrase that. Outside of my current job, I've never had to do that.
Okay, touche.
There are some things that actually have legitimate application, like for construction, the Pythagorean theorem is useful. Especially if you want to know if you actually build a rectangle when you intended to.
Now, see,
Yeah,
the problem I'm having with your question, though, is you asked, what am I good at that I like doing? And it seems those two are always mutually exclusive. I'm good at a lot of things that I can do to make money, but I don't necessarily enjoy doing them.
I see.
Agreed, Purple. I've had so many. Like, you can name any job that doesn't require a degree, and I've probably fucking done something that either it or something very close to it.
Substitute teacher.
What's that? No, you need a
Doesn't
degree
require
for
a degree
that.
in this
Can't be a.
state.
Oh my!
And I
In
love
your
playing
state,
with Legos,
what?
but I see.
Did you just say they don't require a degree for a substitute teacher in your state? Is that what I just heard?
Not right now because they couldn't get people.
Yeah.
to work. Purple was saying something.
That's here too.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Purple.
No, I was just saying, the things I like, I'm just only mediocre at. Like I love playing with Lego, but there isn't any way I'm going to get any of the things I created, featured anywhere, like these guys who do the conventions and, build authentic to scale warships that are 6 feet long.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, for example, I'm a very amateur astrophotographer, but like, I don't consider my work to be that great because I've seen great work. But I was featured on an online space magazine thing for Astrophoto of the Week.
Oh,
so
cool.
I guess that's like my highest achievement with this hobby.
What was it a picture
Yeah,
of?
but don't forget
Oh.
to tell people how long you haven't been doing it. How long have you been doing it now?
2 months.
Okay.
Oh,
But astrophotography is also, sorry, Jenny, this is your area.
What was it? A picture of?
Oh, it was the Triangulum Galaxy.
Okay.
You have a good enough equipment for that?
Yeah, actually, I have one of the newer smart scopes on the market called the Dwarf 2. It's only 2.5 pounds, but it works well in like Bortle 9 skies, so like real heavy light pollution.
How big? How big of a bucket is it? What's the diameter?
Actually, let me look up all the stats for it real quick.
And how much did it cost? How much?
Average. Well, I got it on Black Friday. The basic cost is $500.
Okay, yeah. Usually the astrophotography stuff's pretty expensive for a decent setup.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this one is
it's not cheap.
actually for astrophotography stuff, telescopes in general. That thing is a really good deal at $500
If you want to take
because a lot of that
the
stuff's over
high-end-
$2,000.
If you want to take the high end astrophotography, you're going to be dumping 10 grand into your setup.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about prices of things. It's expensive.
Because I can get things like the Horsehead Nebula fairly bright, but anything above magnitude 9 is pretty much unreachable for my scope.
Yeah.
Well,
it might not be if you have a clock driving, you could hook your sensor up for all night. You'd probably get some.
I had a Nikon.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying the battery on it is what I may have screwed up because I used it at a very low temperature. The lowest operating temperature is 14 degrees, and I used it at 5. So luckily it has a battery that is removable and replaceable, so it's only like $30.
Yeah, I had a Nikon is it Coolpix?
Yes.
Coolpix B600 was really good for wildlife photography, even though it's not a great camera overall. But the upgrade to it to get a lens that can do as well as the Nikon Coolpix B600 did, I'd have to spend like $1,000.
Oh my goodness!
At least
I have
last
a
time
nice
I priced
camera.
it.
The only problem with my camera is I don't have expensive lenses. So I'm holding on to it because it's a good camera in general and has good specs on it and stuff.
Oh.
And then one day when I have time to go take pictures and feel like it, I'll buy some nice lenses for it.
Would you guys telescope?
Say again.
You blinked. Say that again.
I said, would you like to see the telescope?
Yeah, show it to everybody. It's pretty cool.
It's
Isn't that awesome?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's much
The
smaller than my
telescope.
telescope.
this
I
whole
was
bar here
expecting something much
is
larger.
the
The lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bar is the
the
lens.
entire thing gathers the light.
Panoramic.
Are you serious? That is a telescope?
That is.
That's slightly larger
And
than
it-
my binoculars.
It rotates here and here. Is able to track objects, like you can use it for wildlife photography as well. You can track birds as they're flying.
Oh, neat.
So you set it on it like a nebula or something, and it will track it through the sky, and he'll leave it out there for like an hour.
Yeah, I need to gather light for at least an hour for this thing to produce an image that's worth anything.
I'm blown away. I've never even imagined anything like that. That's really
Yeah.
funky.
I want one.
Yeah.
Technology.
They're pretty cool. And if you'd like to see any of the results of the dwarf, I have them all up on my YouTube channel as shorts. There's several images from like Orion, Andromeda, M33, the Pleiades, my favorite star cluster.
Have you gotten the nebulas in Orion?
Yep.
Isn't there one in the Big Dipper too?
Oh shit, they're everywhere. My catalog of stellar objects is like 400 right now.
Well, I think I found the Big Dipper one by accident, but I know the Messier objects. I think, two are in Orion. One's in the Big Dipper, and I don't know where the other ones are.
Yeah, in Orion, there's the Running Man Nebula, and then there's the Great Orion Nebula.
Big Dipper. How did we get back into talking about Trump?
No, that's the Big Dipshit.
That's the little. That's the little.
Also,
Dipper.
if you guys like Facebook, you can go onto Facebook and look up KTB Photography, and he has all his stuff on there.
Or on YouTube,
Thank
you
you.
can look up Astronomy Live, and he'll from time to time point his telescopes at the space shuttle the space station and follow it around for you.
That's so cool. That's one thing my scope can't do. It can track, but it can't get any detail really on that because it's too close. It also doesn't do planet very well.
Because they're too close?
Yeah, it's meant for dim objects like deep sky
Now,
objects.
now, does it allow you
okay.
to stack images?
Yes, it does live stacking.
Yes.
All your planetary photography improves with stacking.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
but,
why he gets such a clean. Yeah.
But the problem is whenever I do a picture of, say, Jupiter, it'll just show it as a bright ball, and I can see
Really?
the moons around it. The only planet I can get clear detail on is Venus.
I've understood Venus.
The one planet that has no detail.
Well, you can see some of the cloud bands.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I thought
Yes.
Venus was.
Wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Venus really hard to photograph normally?
No.
No, it's
Brightest-
the
brightest
brightest
day.
object
Yeah, but it's hard
besides
to,
Jupiter.
there was something about it that makes it hard to get detail on or something like that.
Well, it's
Good for you, Kyle.
completely clouded over. There is no detail except for a little bit of clouds.
Mhm.
But all
It's
I ever
boring.
got on-
It's boring mostly.
Hey, all I ever got on my camera for Jupiter is Jupiter and like
Tracking
4 white dots against a large black field. That's it.
That was my first picture, and no, I haven't looked into any of the mounts yet because they are just ungodly expensive.
Yeah, a good clock drive will run you minimum $500.
Yeah, I'll stick with my dwarf for a while, and also they have one called the Sea Star by ZWO. I think that's what it is. That one has a tighter field of view, so your images of, say, like the Horsehead Nebula are much closer and zoomed in, and it has pixels than the dwarf too. So I'm looking to upgrade around my birthday. Probably sell the dwarf and get the Sea Star.
I have a Meade ETX 125, and it's okay. I would really like like an 8-inch Dobsonian or something like that. But who's got
That was
kind of
one I
money
was
anymore?
looking at when I was going to purchase telescopes, but I wanted to do astrophotography specifically for deep sky objects, and the Dobsonian scopes are they're real good for planetary.
Yeah.
But I would need like a DSLR or something to attach, and I just don't have all the things I need. It's definitely a
Hey,
hobby
guys,
that
that's-
requires a lot of Go ahead.
That's Kyle's channel I just put up there.
Oh,
If you guys want to see some live astronomy work, there's Astronomy Live. He does live feeds with YouTube once in a while, but there's also a guy on TikTok by the name of Professor Nixy, Nixy, and he's out there virtually every night doing live astrophotography, and answering questions. You'll have a couple thousand people in his chat at one time.
Well, that's impressive.
Wow. My gosh.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah,
love
he's
to
a real
live
good
stream
guy,
some of
too.
my scopes.
I've got to meet him and be on a few anti-flat Earth panels.
One of these days, I'll have to take an actual photography course geared towards amateurs. I think best.
Flat
Did you-
earthers taste
did you say
like
something about flat
Soylent
earthers?
Green.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been fighting flat
I get a
earthers
bunch of
for years and years and years.
Wait, did I just hear someone say flat earthers taste like Soylent Green?
Yes,
Oh,
that
no.
would be the penguin. The penguin has personal experience with that, and the penguin has an army of penguins on the South Pole with chain guns. I'm actually going to be making a recruitment for the Deep State recruitment video featuring penguins with chain guns. I'm basing it off of a U.S. Army recruitment video. I used AI to remove the background music from a recruitment video, and I want to use AI and real people saying things like, "We eat flat earthers for breakfast. Conspirators taste like Soylent Green," and other things of that nature.
There is one thing.
I thought the Penguins were going to get a upgrade to the on railguns.
There's one thing tech companies are doing that's really irritated me lately, and that's affixing to AI for everything, even if it doesn't require AI. Like removing sound might require AI, but usually doesn't, especially background music. That's just a pattern matching algorithm.
Well, if you're not
Have you heard about this Galaxy AI with the new S24?
That's probably a large language model.
Well, what they're wanting to do with the camera is be able to take deep sky objects like the Andromeda Galaxy and take a picture with your phone, but it's going to be AI generated, like superimposed over where it should be.
So I think that may require AI, but I'm not sure.
They're going to have to get some pretty fancy lensing for phones to be able to get Andromeda.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to cheat somehow.
My S23 can take really good pictures really far away, and it's really good at nighttime photography. But
yeah, that's where I started. My whole astrophotography thing was with my phone. I just aimed it up, or I put it on a table, right? And I clicked the button, let it go for 15 seconds, and I got a beautiful picture of the stars. And then from that moment, I was hooked. And now I'm being accused of working for NASA.
Well,
with these pictures, I swear to God.
You do. Don't you get a
monthly
check? I get
don't
mine.
perpetuate that. Who knows who's listening?
Listen,
I get a monthly check from them.
Wait, you get paid? No.
Yes. You think I do it for free?
I got a comment recently where someone thought that I was seriously covering for secret societies, and that the Deep State, they actually took the renaming of the channel fucking seriously. And
I would play them like a hilt to the hilt. Just absolutely play them for the rest of their lives.
For the record, flat earthers, I have a software engineer friend who has code on the International Space Station.
If you're dumb enough to be a flat earther, you have no
cool.
you have no chance at having mercy. In technological discussions, they should be absolutely made fun of every second of every day.
You mean
For
like
sure,
clear,
and take their questions
flat
seriously
earther
anymore.
To be clear, being a flat earther and other kinds of thought processes, it's not a matter of intelligence, and I'm not saying because it's not even a position one thinks themselves into it or in that sense. Being a flat earther, it's very much politics, basically. And I'm super oversimplifying the point I'm trying to make, but it's not a matter of being dumb or smart. I mean, generally, being smart is kind of antithetical to conspiratorial thought, but you can be intelligent and have and fall victim to conspiratorial thought. You're not immune to it if you're intelligent.
Well, yeah, I've actually met a former flat earther, and he said I didn't get smarter the moment I realized I was wrong.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask. So, Jenny, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So, you would agree with the guy who runs the Maritime Horse channel when someone said, you were being a little mean to flat earthers in your video about the SS Eastland. And his response was like, good, I meant to be.
The SS Eastland? That boat that sunk in the river?
Yeah. The boat, the channel's called Maritime Horrors. So.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah, I am always harsh on flat earthers. I will offer them no solace whatsoever. I do not respect them in any way, shape, or form, and I never will.
He was a navigator in the Coast Guard, and he's like, every navigator in the Coast Guard considers flat earthers to be effing morons.
Yep.
Just ask them to explain how an EQ mount works, and then watch their heads spin.
That's been done. A guy by the name of Wolfie 6020 down in Australia is an advanced astronomer. And, oh yes, and an international pilot. And he did a whole series on that and proved absolutely conclusively that the Earth is not flat.
Yeah.
But none of them can. He set up an experiment where he went to a tall building somewhere in the world. I don't know where it was, and he set up his barometric pressure sensor in his hand, pushed the top button of the elevator, and went up like 50 stories in this elevator, and watched the pressure drop.
So
Because these people don't believe that there's such a thing as a pressure gradient.
sometime this summer, if I have enough money, I need to go somewhere where ships can disappear over the horizon and someone with a good camera.
I mean, I used to see that all the time. I lived by the beach in Virginia.
Well, see, they don't even understand that purpose. They see that and they say, well, see, the Earth is flat because you can still zoom in on them, so they're still there. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but I want
tall
you
and
to
they
be
haven't
good.
gotten all the way over the curve. But give them a few minutes, they'll be gone.
Needs
Yeah,
to,
give me a few minutes.
yeah, needs to have a camera that can go farther than an Nikon P900 zoom.
Well, no, that's just perfectly fine. It zooms. You can only go so far with any zoom. They disappear because they're beyond the curve. It's the way it goes.
My
But they
Sony
don't-
Cybershot's not bad.
But
Yeah,
they're
it's actually
saying
got a pretty
because
decent
you
lens
can,
on it for an instant.
their argument is because you can zoom in further, it didn't really go. It's like
Right.
it just hasn't gone over the horizon yet.
Exactly.
If you could zoom in farther than the P900 or the P1000 could go and show that it's not coming back in.
Well, but see that's not the part they won't listen to that. As soon as that thing is gone, they have some excuse for it.
Listen, I'm personally in favor of doing a fundraiser, giving them all a trip to Antarctica to search for the ice wall,
Yes.
and they'll probably never question why it's one-way tickets.
I tell you what, I'll make the promise right here. If I win the big lotto someday, I will pay for 10 high-end, recognizable flat earthers to go down and represent all of flat Earth and to take that trip.
What, you don't want to give them a free cruise to search for the ice wall?
Well, yeah, I don't intend to go. Fuck. I don't really care to risk my life on the ocean for that.
I mean, I get the people who want to go down there just for the adventure, but it's like, why would you want to go on a cruise in some of the most dangerous seas in the world?
Because you're a flat earther. No, see, I bet you they wouldn't.
No, I mean the
wouldn't even
people
take
who
you up.
pay to go see Antarctica. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I bet you they wouldn't even go if you offered them that.
No.
I mean, Red's Rhetoric once offered Russian Vids to pay for all of his travel, all of his room and board, and pay him time that he's actually there to watch a rocket launch, to believe that they actually happen.
Well, Red's Rhetoric is kind of a jerk.
Yeah, he is, but he's very, very smart, and he's real willing to challenge people and put his money where his mouth is. And he did that with Russian Vids, and he crumbled like a cookie.
Whereas I probably wouldn't pay to give Earthers a cruise to search for the ice wall, even if I had the money, because that's just a joke. Unless someone shared my sense of humor.
Don't forget, folks, in about 40 minutes, Maya and Dr. Tapp will be going live for Bad Science Sunday. The link is pinned above, so when we are done, you can hop on over there.
What is Mage good at that he doesn't? Mage didn't answer that question.
Gardening.
Mage is good at lots of stuff.
Yeah, I'm the jerk of all trades.
Oh my god, I'm going to use that. Can I?
I've been using
Can I
it,
use that at work?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
definitely use
reused. Okay. It's fair
Yeah.
game then.
Fair game.
Well, I would assume Mage is pretty good at magic as well, but
God, I'm going to use that at work.
I've dabbled a little bit in.
Commander, I think your Enclave armor needs some helmets.
but then how would we know that Commander is a penguin?
So
That's why the helmets are off. so that
I
you
go to
know
post-
that it's a penguin army.
I go to post something, I come back and Kyle's gone. What the fuck?
Commander, what did we think that we should make bunny? Oh yeah, bunny heads. I want them all to have bunny heads.
Yeah, bunnies.
Bunny rabbits. BNUUY.
For
Bunny.
Easter, you gotta have bunnies.
BNUUY. Yeah.
Oh boy.
A New Jersey hoppy bunny.
That is the new spelling of bunny, everyone. BNUUY.
Panui.
For some strange reason, it
Benui.
does not want to render
Benui.
frame 317. So I have to restart my computer to render one goddamn frame because it doesn't want to start ray tracing that.
Well, as a penguin, I'm going to ask you the most important question. Have you installed Linux yet?
No.
Why do you like Linux so much? Serious question.
Because
though.
Porpoise is a programmer. That's why.
Well, I know, but
Because
for the
Windows
common
is-
That
user,
is the
isn't
answer
Linux
to the
hard to
question.
use?
Because
Yeah.
Windows
But I'm
is such
saying
a
for a
total
common
piece of
user,
shit.
isn't Linux hard to use?
No,
No.
used to be.
Really?
But there are plenty of distributions you can get out, and it's not really that much harder than using Windows. Like try Mint or
Okay.
Ubuntu. Don't use
So
Arch
what-
unless you're a statist. Sorry.
Are
So,
you-
what are the
do you use
advantages of
Ubuntu?
Linux compared to Windows?
Well, for a
Linux
programmer,
will render Linux version of Blender I know is about 10 to 15% faster, but then I can't run a lot of the other programs that I have on this computer.
but for a programmer, if you like have Linux installed, you have all those programming tools there already. You don't have to download them.
Right, but I'm saying for like, what's the incentive for a non-programming person that's just casual computer
It's
user?
not
to get it?
Windows. It's not
You're not supporting
Windows.
Bill Gates.
Ah, well, that's a good reason.
Yep. That's a good reason.
That's
Well, I guess
good.
you aren't supporting Bill Gates anymore, but. And if you have a Mac OS, you're using Linux anyway.
I don't have
Well,
Mac.
Unix.
I have
but-
Windows. So if I get a computer like with Linux put in, how hard is it to switch to Windows if I don't like it?
Well, if you want to do that, first of all, I wouldn't buy a computer with Linux put in. I would either do a dual boot setup, or you just try Linux. Or if you just want to try Linux, make sure you have virtual or virtualization turned on in your BIOS. Download VirtualBox from Oracle. Get the ISO and try out Linux.
Okay. Okay.
And that,
See, I
what part-
needed that. I needed the basic. What do I do?
And what part?
Thank
And, at what part did you get completely lost?
No. That was fine. I actually understood all of that. It's probably the first time that Porpoise has said something serious that I actually understood all of it.
I didn't explain like how to do the Dijkstra's algorithm.
Yes, Jasper. That's
So you can get a lot of free stuff because you have Linux.
Well, there's already
no,
a
no,
lot
no.
of free-
Linux itself is mostly open source. Like the kernel or the base stuff of Linux is not like. How do I explain this properly?
It's
I don't
not
know.
Windows.
A lot of
It's
the
not
stuff is
Windows.
a lot of the stuff is already there for you. You don't need to go download stuff. Like Python's already
Okay.
installed. It comes with a GCC compiler. Most of
Well,
them will
what's the
come with-
GCC compiler?
It's a C compiler. It's used for programming.
Okay,
But for
carry
any-
on.
I don't know what software you use. It usually will come with LibreOffice. There's a really good editing program called OpenShot if you don't need everything Blender has, because Blender, I'm pretty sure Blender can do almost anything. Because ideally it's a 3D graphics program, but it also has a really good video editor.
Okay.
But if you don't need that, OpenShot's a pretty good video editor that doesn't have all the tools. I mean, you would
Okay.
probably have to install the GIMP, and most of the things, installation is generally, it's like, don't go to this website. It's like, install it from the command line and see what's in the repository. If it's in the repository, like, if you need to install a Photoshop-like thing, if you're using Debian, it's sudo apt-get GIMP, or the GIMP.
GIMP.
Okay.
GIMP.
The GNU image manipulation project. Because
Oh, I
called
know.
GIMP.
GIMP has another meaning. That's all.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
it does.
So GIMP runs on Linux then.
Yeah, the GIMP also runs on Windows
Excellent.
if you want to download the Windows version.
Yeah, I have the
On
Windows
Player
version of
Stick 8
GIMP.
will work on Linux using Proton.
Yes.
Okay.
After all, for those of you
Is that just
like
another
myself,
program you have to
No,
download?
that is a framework to run Windows games.
Yeah. So I have a Steam Deck, which is basically like a handheld console for Steam games. And it's all based on Linux.
But let's go to the important
Okay.
question as to why I was asking Commander that. Linux mascot is a penguin called Tux.
I figured that.
I mean, that's why I was cackling at the beginning, because I knew what Linux's mascot was.
No.
Okay, so what I need to do is I need to move all of the
Smack this
frames
cat.
back because it's
I
like
never hear
not wanting to even start sampling past 317 frames. It's
And the other-
actually the GPU's not engaging. I have a computer scientist here, so
Yes, you
we're
do.
trying to figure out what's wrong with Blender. It does not want. It will render the previous frame. It does not want to do this, and I have plenty of memory left.
That
Possibly
might
you
not
have a defect in that particular frame. Did you have any editing specifically on that particular frame?
Well,
I'm
this is
using
one-
the ray tracer.
This might be, I don't know. I should look more into ray tracing because I've been having to deal more with a professor who explained a very simple principle in a convoluted way. But the first thing I would do is see if you're running any programs in the background and close those.
I
It
mean,
could
it
be a
will
bug.
run it will run frame 316 fine. It's just refusing to start sampling at frame 317 or.
That's why I'm
any
bringing up
further.
that particular frame. I've had that situation too, where it will just stop rendering, mid film or whatever, and it's because there's a problem on that frame that you don't know about right now. That if you investigate, you might find.
Yeah, it could also be a bug in the program, but
That's true too.
I was going to say 316 isn't even close to a power of 2, so that doesn't make sense.
317.
Yeah, it's still not close to a power of 2.
Because a lot of computer science problems, like the fact that Fallout will crash, Fallout 4 crashes at level 65,536, if you ever get up that high, is because it's an extra bit they need to use. So if you try to do that, the program exceeds the amount of bits they have and it just crashes. Because someone used a short integer type in C, most likely. But I think Jen is right, because Jen does more video editing than I do. And when I do video editing, I use Sony Vegas.
I'm
just
still here. I was
moving-
just making noise. I apologize. I didn't mean to
I'm
abandon
just
the
moving
conversation.
all the goddamn keyframes back.
I would also
200.
I know Blender's really good at it, especially for animation. And maybe there is like an error in like the script or something.
Yeah.
Overall, I've heard nothing but good from Blender though.
It's a very useful program. But don't a lot of like the YouTubers use Adobe Premiere? Or what's their
Well, Adobe Premiere, and this is not video editing. This is actually a 3D animation with ray tracing, and it's like not this like penguin here. This was ray traced. It's a 3D model, and I'm just switching between mouth open, mouth closed.
3D animation isn't my thing, so. But I mean, like you can ask on the Blender forums. I'm still leaning towards it's a bug in the program, though, if Jenny's experiencing the same thing.
Oh no, mine wasn't a bug in the program. Mine was a bug in what I was rendering. That I made mistakes in the application of filters and various things that you could do, and it just said forget you. And once I corrected those things, it was fine. What actually was is I started in effect before I it actually started the clip. So it apparently didn't know what clip it was I was supposed to apply the filter to, and it just went and just locked up.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not a software specialist. I can look at Python code and tell you what's wrong. C code too. Sometimes JavaScript code, but JavaScript's evil.
Yeah, I can't really handle coffee very well myself. Makes me too anxious.
But
I'm sorry.
But have you looked into what Jenny's saying, Commander? It sounds reasonable.
I'm just looking at that now. For right now, I'm just going to take all the keyframes and move them back 100 frames, render the next 100 frames, and then move it back even further.
Interesting.
And
okay. You do not need to take me too seriously about JavaScript being evil. I just don't like it.
well, the Blender uses Python.
Java was written by Lucifer.
Java and JavaScript are not the same thing.
Java was written by Lucifer.
Note that I'm not saying Jenny's wrong.
I'll be back.
Yeah, it's just that JavaScript is not the same thing. So it's not JavaScript is not evil. Java is evil. Noted.
Oh, they can both be evil. They're just not the same thing.
So you can, even though you have Linux, you can run Windows on Linux? Really?
Can Windows be used with Linux? Why would you want to? A dual boot
I mean, but
system.
could you?
Well, there is. You can get the Windows subsystem for Linux, which lets you use Linux commands and do bash scripting, which honestly, PowerShell is just the worst scripting language I've ever encountered.
Huh.
It's like for most system administration tasks, you do not need object-oriented programming. You just need to enter a few simple commands to get the computer to automate what you want it to do. And Bash is much better at that. I forgot what I was saying.
That's okay. It's time for me to end this anyways. I like to do a 30-minute break between me and Maya. Again, the link is pinned above for everybody. You can just click on that, jump over to Maya's. Does anybody have anything to shill that's important?
Next week, 7 p.m. I cleared it with my employer, Eastern U.S. Canada. I cleared it with my employer already. Hopefully, we're going to do another installment of the new old shill show called the Deep State Derp Report and the unveiling of the permanent name of the channel. So there was a little thing where I got cold feet and I named it something else because I thought it might infringe. And then, yeah, everyone was right. I was completely silly. So we're going to the name that we decided in a meeting.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's it's in case you guys don't know and haven't checked out the show yet, it is all people that used to be, well, with some add-ins. But the base is people that used to be on the shills back when the shills had more of an open panel and didn't cut it down to 2 people, so we all want to talk again. So that's what we're doing. So it's a new version of all of us from before.
Yeah, poking fun at the stupid.
If I might drop this, Unbox Politics, new show that we're part of on the bin. It's me, Mikey, Mark, and Tim. We pick out different politically involved videos and make fun of them. It's kind of fun. I just dropped the Jon Stewart interview there where he's on Crossfire. That video's almost got 700 views now. It's only been out for about a week and a half. So it's the one video that we have that's actually getting some traction right now. We just started the show at the beginning of January. So if you wouldn't mind going and dropping, watching and dropping a like and whatnot, that'd be great.
Yeah, I love to pop in on the bin because you guys do some random stream times sometimes with the try and deal with the time zone and everything. So sometimes you guys just stream at that perfect time where there's nothing on, and it catches my attention because I don't get any other. Because normally I get like notification after, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not doing the live show every week
buried
anymore now, though, right?
Yeah.
So we're just recording shorter episodes basically and releasing them.
Yeah, which is awesome. I do like live shows, but I know with everybody's time zones, it's hard to do that. So for sure, and not be on at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, everybody, make sure in 25 minutes you head on over there to Maya's and watch her and Dr. Tap Bad Science Sunday at 9:30 Eastern. So everybody check that out. Everybody remember to take care of yourself, take care of others, and
the
have some
link,
peace in your life.
The link to my new channel is in the chat if you want to cover computer science or math topics, or if you have anything you want me to cover, let me know. I'm sorry I can't be entertaining, but
no, it's fine. For
I'm
those
sorry,
who love math, it's amazing.
Porpoise, you're incorrect. For people who like this, it will be entertaining. For me, it will be entertaining. So you are entertaining.
Exactly. See, it just has to be your cup of tea. That's all.
I just gave you a subscribe now that I know your channel. Also, I love.
Anyways, everybody, take care of yourselves. I love you guys.
The symbol you have.
Have a good one
on your channel.
Good night.
Get caught.
All right, you crazy people. You stay cool. Keep it real. Keep an eye out for each other. Suck in that content you love. Dance like nobody's watching. Go after your passions and enjoy them. I'm out.